And look, this changing time zones by 3 hours, screwing up your body clock. Those who travel for business, and you're not out playing a football game. Think about how it affects your body over the course of the day, how you feel. Well, they're doing that, and they're going to go play a football game against a team that's out there every day. I think that's real. I also think that you hear that phrase from coaches a lot of times, we got to make sure they don't beat us twice. That's what Oregon did to Penn State. They beat them twice. They beat them in their game, and then they beat them in the next game too, because obviously Penn State had not gotten over what had happened to Oregon. All those factors came together, and others too, I'm sure. But Nico played great. And Penn State did not put up a fight defensively.
It may be more of the latter than the former because Oregon came to Penn State, took care of business there. That's about the same distance, from a travel standpoint, time zone change. But here's the other point. It's what can happen with a team when you make a regime change, you have a bye week, and it's like a new slate. And we don't have any idea what it'll look like when Arkansas goes to Knoxville in terms of effort, attitude. Does the offense look better than it did the last couple of second halves? By the way, Bobby Petrino on the show in an hour. He'll be here at 7:15 this morning.
That's big. All we have to go by is 1992. We can look at our history. The last time Arkansas went to Tennessee with an interim head coach, they won. Todd Wright kicked a field goal at the Horn, and the Razorbacks beat fourth-ranked Tennessee. Joe Kynes was the interim head coach then. And if you'll remember, Arkansas lost to the Citadel to open the season. Jack Crow was the head coach. He got fired after the first game. The next week, think about that. He got fired after the first game. Well, now look, I was there. They lost to the Citadel 10-3. And you knew something was going to happen. But at any rate, the next week, there is no reason to believe Arkansas would do this. The next week, they go to South Carolina, and they won 45-7. They didn't just eke out a victory. They beat South Carolina in the first SEC game for both teams, 45-7, a week after losing to the Citadel 10-3. Now, Joe Kynes was the man then. That season took a lot of twists and turns, but it included that win at fourth-ranked Tennessee. So I think what we know, if we've watched, our situation years ago, but other situations since then, is you cannot predict what's going to happen. All the logic that you applied before the season, all summer long, all the logic, all the things that appeared obvious to you that maybe didn't appear obvious to somebody else, all that's in the rearview mirror. None of that matters now. And we're seeing in college football, even with the teams that are locked in, it's week to week. Can you imagine what it's going to be like for a team with an interim head coach? Now, Petrino's pretty good at keeping everybody on the same page. He's pretty good at that. But he'll be challenged in that area like he's never been challenged before, and I'm sure he knows that.
Well, it's different when you take over a team midstream like this, as you're alluding to. And I want to ask him when we have him on what it's like in this situation versus being a head coach when you have him for all of training camp. Yeah. Some of it's obvious, but what's the move now when you walk in to have that team meeting and there is no time to really kind of get your feelings right? You have a week, but that's not long. That's not training camp. How do you shift culture, shift attitude, shift belief in 3 practices that they had last week? Get the weekend off. That's why my understanding they had the weekend off, which you would expect on a bye week. You come back today, you're going into game week, you're going to play a really tough team in a really tough environment. Is primetime 3:15? Does that work for you, Bart? Is that primetime?
It's better than 11 a.m.
Is it just as good as a 6 o'clock kickoff?
No, but it's fine.
We're on the road, though. So the earlier the better.
I don't know, man. All those primetime CBS games were at 2:30 in the afternoon. That was good. No, those were the biggest games.
It's fine. I don't have any problem.
I was just checking. I just want to get your temperature on that. You're okay with it, so we can go ahead and play the game. You're okay with the game time.
Might as well.
Chris Lowe's writing a story on Petrino that comes out today, Chuck, and he, I guess, defaulted to me. He talked to a lot of people, but I think he was missing just one like lame media.
He needed that special touch.
And so he asked me to give my perspective on what it's like seeing Petrino at the helm again as the Razorbacks head coach. And I got to tell you, like, I have a lot of words, but how to sum it up? How would you sum it up? How would you sum up what it's going to be like to look at Coach Petrino on the sideline at Tennessee for Chuck? He'll be at the game, and he'll have his binoculars out because the radio booth is somewhere just underneath the Goodyear blimp.
Clouds pass between you and the field. Is how it
I mean,
works
it's
there.
so high. It's so steep in that press box. So Chuck will have the binoculars. He'll be able to see Petrino stalking the sideline. The rest of us will have a great camera angle on television that we'll see. What's it going to feel like? What are you going to be saying and thinking when you see this? So I gave an answer, but I kind of want to hear from people on this. Like, what are your thoughts? Just forget about like long term, how it's all going to go, whatever. Just what is your reaction, Ben? Because I had to go back. My real reaction came when he returned as the OC. That was the moment. This is another moment, but the big moment was, are you kidding me? Bobby Petrino is coming back, and he's not the head coach. He's the offensive coordinator. Wow, that was a surreal day.
I didn't believe it when I first heard it. I didn't believe it. I thought that can't be true. And I saw Coach Pittman later that day and found out it was true. And so I was surprised. Now, for me, I got to be honest. For me, the bigger moment is him becoming the interim head coach. Because I can assure you, Bobby Petrino is planning on winning ball games and continuing to be the head coach. Now, he's smart enough to know that if he doesn't win ball games, he's probably not going to be the head coach. Although, Hunter Yurachek made it pretty clear in that press conference a week ago that it was not going to be, numerically, wins and losses that necessarily decided things. I do know this. I am certain of this. We will see a different football team wearing white and red on Saturday. I'm certain of that. We'll see effort. We'll see an edge. We'll see things we've not seen before. The question is, and it's always the question when you have an interim coach, is can you do this every week? Can you, pile the weeks together? You said something a minute ago that I think is key in all this. When you've got a new head coach, generally speaking, you've got part of the winter because they get hired about late December, 1st of January. You've got the winter, you've got spring practice, you got the summer, and then you got fall camp to let everybody know exactly how we're going to do things around here. There's a new sheriff in town, and this is my culture, and this is my way. As you said, he had 3 practices in an open week. So that's the challenge right there. Now, the good part is he's been around. And he's, you knew he was out there. I'll put it that way. When you went to watch him practice, even when Coach Pittman was head coach, you knew Petrino was out there. He had a presence about him. So the players are familiar with him on both sides of the ball. They know his style, but it's still different, and it's a huge challenge.
877-377-6963. If you want to call or text the show, follow the show, Chuck and Bo Show on social media. You can stream us on YouTube at any time, also on demand there. And if you missed the show, and if you can't listen to the Petrino interview in an hour at 7:15 for whatever reason, you can go back and catch it on YouTube or on demand. Easy to find, Spotify, Apple, at Chuck and Bo Show. We'll get to your thoughts coming up. It's Monday. We got a big weekend to recap. How about Texas going into the swamp and coming out with a loss? Just one of the many, many things to talk about.
I always knew DJ Lagway was going to be a star.
Bart's always believed in DJ Lagway.
Bart texted me Saturday morning and said, I think today's DJ's day. And indeed, it turned out to be.
He woke up feeling that way.
Yeah.
How did Bart do in his locks? We'll get into all of it coming up.
Yeah, what's your point?
You want my point?
Yes, I asked for it. Make
Here's
it.
my point.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Oaklawn is here for when you want real action, and the wait is over. Live racing is back. Every weekend brings big moments, big crowds, and your chance to feel the thrill of a big win. The holiday racing season begins Friday, December 12th, and runs through January 4th. Then, the excitement returns with the classic racing season, January 30th through May 2nd. It's racing, it's winning, it's everything you've been waiting for. Oaklawn Hot Springs. Join the fun. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
When it comes to watching games, nobody does it like Walk-Ons. Over 60 TVs at every location, and the food and drinks win. Mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine like po' boys and gumbo, plus fan favorites like the best burger you can get anywhere, and more draft beers and cocktails than you can count. Incredible food, wonderful service, and a viewing experience like none other. Walk-On Sports Bistro. We live for this.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
I love a day or weekend at Big Creek Country Club in Mountain Home. The golf, the people, the hospitality, and the events they host always hit the mark, and members enjoy it all. State-of-the-art practice facilities, food, beverages, a big pool with a snack and beverage bar, tennis and pickleball courts, and they can even book you an exclusive fly fishing trip. There's no initiation fee, and for out-of-towners, a membership is only $185 a month. It's Big Creek Country Club in Mountain Home. It's home away from home.
The two best guys in mediocre sports radio.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I haven't drank alcohol since '96 when I wet willied my boss in both ears at the Christmas party. We're on the way home, and my wife said, "You know what it is?" I said, "Yeah, it's time to stop drinking." She said, "Yeah, it is."
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Words to live by right there. Rod's cruising down the road right now. Rod, good morning.
Good morning. Somebody need to call Clay Henry and tell him Texas lost.
He'll be happy to hear that if he doesn't know
he's
already.
already.
Yeah.
He was waiting on that. He was. I really don't know what to expect from this team, but I'll tell you this. if they had a theme right now, it'd be Alice Cooper, no more Mr. Nice Guy, because this is going to be a whole new animal, and I do mean animal, because these guys have been pushed probably beyond their limit this week. I wouldn't want to be in that camp. I'll tell you that right now. What to expect? I mean, is Tennessee going to be up for this game after we lost Notre Dame, Memphis, Ole Miss? I hope not. I'd like to catch them really good and sleepy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't think that's going to happen after what happened in Fayetteville last year. They've had an open.
Yeah, they owe us. So, yeah. Well, then again, this might be so radically different that how do you prepare for a team under complete new management in 2 weeks? And I mean, this is complete different.
It's
style,
different
attitude.
for them too, no question. And I saw where Heupel said, I mean, they're doing a deep dive on Petrino from probably all the way back to his time here, would be my guess.
And Chris Wilson.
Yeah.
The DC.
So they're they've got homework to do too.
Yeah, he's going to be different. He's going to have some new wrinkles that probably they ain't even seen because, depending on the exact team you've got and what you can coach for, there's certain things you can and can't do with the team you have right now. So that's going to even look different than what he's been, I think. So I'd love to see him come out and punch him in the mouth, but I'm going to reserve judgment because I don't really know. I don't even think Bobby knows exactly yet. Be honest.
Well, there's no way you can until you get out there and play. I mean, anyone that says they know what's going to happen is just, they're just predicting.
Do you have more confidence now than you would have if Arkansas was just still rolling with the same setup, same head coach? Probably would have fired the DC anyhow. I know they would have, but do you feel you got a better chance? Yeah. I'm just curious how.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I think fans probably feel like largely that. Thanks for the call, Rod. But I'd like to hear about that too. Do you have any more confidence, or has anything really changed in your confidence or how you feel with Petrino?
Oh, I think
now
the
reins?
almost unanimous answer would be yes there.
See, to me, that was sort of my answer to Chris Lowe is like what it's like. I think what it's like is when they made the decision to bring Petrino back as the offensive coordinator, in my opinion, Chuck, it was because they needed an infusion of hope, an injection of optimism, because it was lacking after the way the season ended. With the firing of Enos, the offense never really looking great. Well, like, where are you going next? And you're 4-8. And I remember that when they brought him back, it just felt like, okay, now people have something to be excited about. And that's not any disrespect to anybody that was on the team or coaching at the time, but that's just how it felt. And I feel like we're kind of back to that with the backdrop of this is a really challenging situation.
I've thought about this, the last couple of days when you kind of look forward and think about what might happen. Up until the fumble at Ole Miss, in fact, I can remember during one of the timeouts, us just talking about it in the booth, that he's the difference. He's the difference. He's the winning edge. We're going to win this game, and he's the winning edge. And then they fumbled, and everything changed. I know this is hard for people to think about. I know it is. But if you don't fumble at Ole Miss, you win that game. And if you win that game, you win the Memphis game. And my guess is going to be this too. And this is, I know this is going to rub people the wrong way. We're going to look up at the end of the year and Ole Miss and Memphis are both going to be in the college football playoff. They're both going to be there, I think. And we're going to realize that, they are 2 plays away. My point in all this is I don't think Arkansas is terrible. I don't think this is a terrible football team. And I think Petrino will be able to light a fire. Whether or not you can sustain it, I don't know. But I'm pretty certain they'll play with a fire at Knoxville that they've not played with before. And the reason that I still have some hope for what's going to happen the rest of the way is I don't think this is a terrible team. I think they lost in a terrible way at Ole Miss, and it led to a terrible loss at Memphis.
and a massive hangover against Notre Dame.
But you know what? How many people at the start of the season had Notre Dame penciled in as a dub anyway? Come on, be honest with me here. You didn't plan on them losing the way they did, but you didn't have that penciled in as a dub. So there's 7 games left. I think he will make a difference. And I think there's still talent on this team. I don't think it's ever going to be a shutdown defense. I don't think they're going to hold teams to 3 points a game. But I think they can outslug them. I think they can outscore them. And if you get a stop or two, they got 2 stops in the second half at Ole Miss. That may be all you get the rest of the way. So you better score when you get them.
A lot of things that we are seeing play out every week, right? A lot of unexpected outcomes. What are going to be the unexpected outcomes moving forward? Does Arkansas play a role in some of that? I mean, just traditionally in this kind of situation, you're going to win a game or 2. Now you add to that the idea of Petrino being a difference maker, a game changer. And the problem, the hard thing, is what you alluded to there is just the consistency between now and the end of the year. It's really hard to show continued improvement if you don't have any wins to kind of help you along, to keep the morale
That's right.
where you need to be.
That's right.
To keep people's minds from just kind of, not that you're giving up, but you just don't have the same sort of thought process and energy that you have when you were full of some hope. I mean, they could still do amazing things this year, but you got to win games to do that.
The one thing I think about, too, is his first year here as the head coach. They weren't good. They lost some games. I mean, they got stomped in some games. And then they barely won some games over some teams that weren't very good themselves. But they still won that last game. They played throughout the year. They got a great effort right until the end of the season. So that makes me think there's a possibility of that happening again. Now, look, it's different now. These guys are getting paid, and when they get their checks matters. There's all kinds of stuff at play now that wasn't at play back then, and that changes everything. But I think about that and how that year, even though they weren't great, in fact, sometimes they weren't even good, they still found a way to play right to the end. And so I don't think November is going to be a lost cause. You just hope that you can get a win or 2, maybe 3. Let's dream big if we're going to dream, but realistically, let's get a couple of wins in October.
877-377-6963. If you want to weigh in, we're going to find out how Bart's weekend was. Bart told me just on the way in that he had a heck of a weekend. So we're going to find out about that. And we have yet to hear about Chuck's. We're going to see what he'll divulge. I'll tell you
nothing.
I'll tell you a little bit about mine. I don't know really how much I can share because it was a guy's golf trip, and there were shenanigans.
This is when you walk in and go, "Am I the only one that had a great weekend?"
Yeah.
And that's how Bo is.
Edwards got his Birkenstocks on today, so
I noticed that. I noticed that.
You can always tell.
It was a late night.
Yeah.
We went to another concert.
Oh my gosh.
Who'd you go see this time?
It's a band called The Head and the Heart.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
How is your head and your heart this morning?
Still trying to figure out both a little bit. But
Okay.
we are here.
Yeah, we are.
I didn't want to tie my shoes this morning.
Yeah, I
so.
see that. I see that. There's that just sort of I'm here but I'm not here look from Edward over there.
I'm present.
Yeah, he is. He is. You look a lot like Arkansas did in the Notre Dame game.
Oh, come on.
It's the Chuck and Bo Show. Our official bank is the First Security Bank. Convenient locations all over the state of Arkansas, all in on local banking, more convenient locations, and friendly local people helping you every day. That's how you bank better. FSBank.com. Check them out online. First Security Bank, member FDIC. It's 6:30 on Monday. Good morning. See, this is what the Chuck and Bo Show is. You just show up and have coffee with you.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweat No Edge is all about. It's for health, confidence and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to SweatingThemCosmetic.com and click on the Sweating 'em Edge.
Are your gutters ready for fall? Leaves are coming, and that means it's time to protect your home. At Hogtroff Gutters, they install high-quality leaf guards that actually work. Don't waste money on the cheap guards from big box stores that clog up, and don't get stuck paying triple the price with those big national companies. With Hogtroff, you get the best of both worlds: professional installation, premium aluminum, and stainless steel guards, as well as a 20-year warranty. Give them a call today to schedule your free inspection, or visit hoggutters.com.
Today's been it's been a strange day.
Yeah, we've had some struggles here.
It's just
Let's just be blunt. Can we be blunt?
well, it's 50-50 at best.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
special place. I mean, that's why I'm so fortunate that I was able to come back here, and I think that we've got to get it back to that special place where everybody in the state is behind the Hogs.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Arkansas opens as a 13.5-point dog at Tennessee with Bobby Petrino at the helm. Coach Petrino will join us at 7:15 this morning. Looking forward to that.
I am too. That's a lot of points. 13.5.
Bart, how'd you do on your locks?
Yeah, how'd it go
over
this
the
weekend?
What kind of weekend did you have? We'll start with that. What kind of weekend did you have?
I had a great weekend. I slept well for the first time in I don't know how long. So it was a very restful weekend. Got a lot of sleep.
You didn't have anything to do.
No, and it was great.
Yeah.
I had no responsibilities
That's
whatsoever.
Good. No one to answer to.
Yeah,
Really?
it was great.
You got everybody out of the house and just said, hey, nobody's coming to my town this weekend. Nobody's coming to visit
Bye
Uncle
week.
Bart.
Leave me alone.
Yeah. Did you answer any texts or calls or anything like that?
Yeah.
Occasionally?
Yeah, occasionally.
Wow. You had a great weekend.
I did nothing. I watched football like all weekend.
That's what I did. I
was
watched football all day Saturday.
I
I watched some of pretty much every game. Did you watch it that way?
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much.
I
I
played golf.
started Friday. I started Friday night with the Lobos. They let me down.
Yeah, they did.
I didn't
You
pay
gonna
any
quit
attention
them
to
now? You gonna stop ordering their clothes and stuff?
No, just disappointed.
I got
Just
you.
disappointed.
Well, we all were.
Well, since you watched it all unfold, tell me what happened with your locks.
Well, 2-1 week.
Golly, you're just 2-1.
Are you ever going to be able to get over the hump?
I was 3-0
really.
like 2 weeks ago, Chuck.
I mean, what are we talking about here? 2-1 every week. 2-1.
that's
You ever
called
going to win a
making a profit.
championship? You
That's
ever going
called
to win
making
a
a profit.
championship? You know, just like be content with minor bowls year after year after year. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, Illinois. They covered the spread against Purdue. They scored a lot of points.
They did.
And then Cincinnati beat Iowa State, previously unbeaten Iowa State, who were exposed as frauds like we all thought they were.
They blew them out. I mean, the final score, really not indicative
right.
of how one-sided it was.
Right. Cincinnati was in control the entire
Same
game.
way with the Cowboys and the Jets yesterday.
Yeah.
37-22, but it was really a rout.
Yeah, it really was.
They scored right there at the end.
Yeah, I quit watching that. I mean, it was no contest.
It wasn't.
And I looked up and I thought, man, the Cowboys are having a good year. And then I saw they were 1-2 and 1.
Yeah, well, they're playing the Jets, though.
They're
Everybody
playing the
looks
Jets.
good
Now
against the
they're
Jets.
2-2 and 1.
Yeah, everyone looks good against the
Turn
Jets.
around. Hey, by the way, the Chiefs play tonight.
They do.
The Jags.
The Jaguars.
Jacksonville.
They're suddenly 3-1. Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, and the Chiefs need wins. And the Eagles lost yesterday to the Broncos.
They did.
And a real barn burner. Sean Payton yelling at coaches on the sideline. Look out, Sean Payton's doing things in Denver.
Hey, Bo Nix is surprisingly.
Yeah, who thought Bo Nix was going to be as
competent
good
NFL
as he is?
quarterback.
You know,
Better than competent.
Peyton said something at the end of the game or after the game that's so true about quarterbacks. He goes, I know in the first half there's a bunch of plays there he'd like to have back. But when it matters, everybody on our sideline believes in him. You know, and there are just moments in games that matter more than others. And he's got that. He's got that quality.
Isn't that the truth?
But you watch him play for
when it
60
matters.
minutes, and it's like, well, you know, he's good. I mean, he's a good player, but he makes a lot of mistakes. But when the money's on the table, man, I mean, he's good.
That's the thing about sports in general is can you do it when it matters?
That's right.
You can have all the stats. You know, you can stuff the stat sheet all you want, but can you do it when it matters, when it's on the line? And unfortunately, on Saturday for Chuck, the answer for me on that was no. We
How'd
may
it go?
or may not get into that later.
No, I want to hear about your
Well,
golf
we
trip.
had 25 guys, and
Wow.
we were at Downstream and played the golf course by Downstream, and our team won by a half point in the Ryder Cup style.
Did you have trash talking from the gallery
Oh,
like the real life
But
Ryder Cup?
it's the horse race at the end that
Yeah.
really matters.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And we lasted through 6 holes, but we triple bogeyed the 6th hole. And when I say
And you
we,
still won?
it's alternate shot. It's pretty well. This is the horse race. That's after.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
That's
I
after
see what
the-
you're
the-
saying.
the
All
Ryder.
right. I
There's-
got you.
there-
I got you.
The horse race is the deal, and that's where the money is.
I get
Yeah.
you.
And
I don't know all the gambling.
I
lingo
folded
the
like
way
a
you
cheap
did.
lawn chair.
Really?
I mean, every swing was just like it was a whole event.
So what you're saying, when it mattered most,
I was not there.
Yeah, you disappeared.
I was there for the first 6 holes.
like a vampire.
But like
Lights
I guess
come
out
on,
of the
you're
first
gone.
5.
Yeah.
And it just didn't. It didn't come out.
You haven't ever heard that?
Anyway.
It's like a vampire. Lights come on and he disappears, man.
So who are back to Bart? So, by the way, I'll just say this: like the trip as a whole, great time, bunch of great guys. I was responsible and went to bed at a decent hour, but I am told on Saturday night that one of the guys got married in the valet, the smoking area of the valet, right outside of the casino.
Got him a church girl.
In the middle of the night.
Wow.
By another guy who was on the trip who's an ordained minister. I'll just leave it there.
That's all you really need to know.
I'll just leave. Apparently, there's a video of it. And on the group chat, it said something to the effect $10 to release it or $100 to delete it.
Either way, he's making money.
If you want to watch it, you pay me, Venmo me $10 and I'll send it to you. But if the guy who it's of, who got married in the parking lot, then delete it.
That's a good
$100
night when something like that happens to somebody else.
Yeah,
it's a good
with somebody
night.
else.
Yeah, when it's somebody
when
else,
you wake
it's a
up
good
and hear
night.
about it.
Yeah.
So Sunday morning, I get up. I'm headed downstairs to get breakfast at the
Free breakfast.
the River Spirit,
yeah.
whatever buffet, River
Yes.
Springs or
Yeah,
whatever,
River
the old
Spirit,
buffet.
yeah.
It's nothing like a casino buffet.
Oh, yeah.
I felt like it was like
There's some truth to that.
The
We've all been
decor-
there. We've all been there.
The decor in this buffet is like a Luby's cafeteria. I mean, it's like you're going like 70s.
Luby's right.
I mean,
Man,
it's just
I like
kind of
Luby's.
just
I
kind of just.
I like
It's just
Luby's.
kind of dark
Get your
in there.
vibe, Chuck.
And I mean, you can eat anything from eggs and bacon to burnt ends and mashed potatoes.
why
and
cafeterias
gravy,
were great,
Fried
man.
rice. I mean, it's 8, 9
Baked
o'clock in the
cod.
morning, whatever you want to eat. I get on the elevator and there's these 3 elderly ladies dressed as if they're going to church. And they
Well, they
said
were.
they said hello, and I said, "Wow, you guys look nice. Where are you headed?" "Oh, we're going to eat." And then this lady looks at me like she knows me, and she says, "Do you spend a lot of time at the Quick Trip?" Now, I want you to take that in for a second.
A lot of time.
Yeah, do you hang out at the Quick Trip? Now, this is my mom's age. She's probably in her mid-70s. And my buddy's behind them, and he's just dying laughing. And I said, "Well, no, ma'am, I don't." "Well, why?" She said, "Well, you look just like a guy I see there all the time."
She's in there buying lotto tickets.
And what I should have said, I didn't.
Yeah, right. She's in
I
there
didn't-
buying those lottery tickets.
I didn't think to say, "Yeah, I get that all the time." I was just lost in the idea that this elderly lady, this sweet elderly lady, thought I was the guy from the Quick Trip.
Well,
And then as they get all, you know how they do, they're talking amongst themselves, and you can overhear
Sure,
them. I
yeah.
just looks like that guy at the Quick Trip. That's me.
Well, it sounds
I
like
look like a guy that hangs out at the Quick Trip
well, I mean,
at the QT in Oklahoma.
what an honor.
Yeah,
What an honor.
I'm telling you.
Hey, a good Quick Trip. That's where the real adventure begins.
Yeah, well,
it's not at the Maverick. It's at
Listen,
the Quick Trip.
if you're a regular at the Quick Trip, and that's how you get noticed in life, I mean, there's worse things.
there are.
There are worse things.
Quick
there
Trip's a
are.
fine establishment.
Let's not talk about
Fine gas
where we
station.
are right now in a casino. Thanks for recognizing me from the Quick Trip.
Hey,
That's a step up.
at least you didn't get married in the parking lot. I mean,
That's right. That's exactly right. All right, it's 6:44. Bart, recap your locks. You lost New Mexico.
Yeah, Illinois was a hit. Cincinnati was a hit.
There you go. Those were
Illinois really pulled away. I mean, they
did. It was
they
close there
gave
for a
up
little
some
bit, yeah.
points. They gave up some points, but they pulled away.
later in the show.
Big game this weekend for Illinois.
Do we do the actual top 25, the Bart top 25
We do that on
today or
Tuesdays.
tomorrow?
Yeah.
But later in the show, maybe you can give us some perspective coming out of the weekend on who's going to be in the playoff.
Okay, great.
Who would have thought we would get to the Red River rivalry and Oklahoma would be ranked 6th and Texas would be out of the top 25?
And Oklahoma is a 2.5-point underdog to Texas.
To an unranked Texas team.
That is what we call a trap.
There you have it.
So is this an early contender for a lock?
We're gonna see how the line moves a little bit.
What are Arch's odds on the Heisman?
Probably not very good.
What is? Let's just think
Paul
back.
Feinbaum said he was the greatest player since
Tim Tebow.
Tim Tebow.
I was thinking
I'm
about
sure he
this
is.
over the weekend. Can you just think back to the hysteria around Arch before he had ever really played a meaningful game?
Can we just admit that a lot of these national college football media guys just have no earthly idea what they're talking about? Again, the top 4 in the AP, a combined 7 and 12. Arch Manning, a shoe-in for the Heisman Trophy, and nobody had ever seen him play. When Steve Spurrier said, well, if he's so good, how come they played Quinn Ewers all last season? Everybody kind of, that ball coach, that kind of scoffed at him. Turns out he was dead on. And all this stuff that you hear, it doesn't mean anything. It means absolutely nothing. Less now than ever before, I think. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't listen to this show. It just means those other people don't know what they're talking about.
It's the Chuck and Bo Show at 6:47. Good morning. Chuck has thoughts. I want to have some coffee and let you guys roll for a while. This is going to be good.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Football season's here, and Flight by Yingling is the light beer built for game days. Tastes like a Yingling, but it's a light beer, and only 95 calories. Flight raises the bar for what a light beer should be, and now it comes in a 16-ounce resealable twist-off aluminum bottle and skinny cans. Perfect for tailgates, watch parties, or just kicking back after the game. Pick it up at your favorite store or ask your bartender. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer.
High school sports in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley have never had a bigger stage. I'm Melissa Orange, host of the Varsity Vibe podcast, and every week we'll be bringing you the stories, highlights, and moments that matter most to our communities. Don't miss a beat. Subscribe to our newsletter, check out the Varsity Vibe podcast, and follow us on social media for the latest scores and spotlight features. Get it all at varsityvibearkansas.com. Some moments call for more than just a win. They call for unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you're not just buying a diamond. You're creating an experience that starts the moment you walk through the door. Their newly remodeled space is absolutely stunning, and Cafe B has a personal touch you won't find anywhere else. Their in-house diamond expert makes it easy to find the perfect piece for any occasion, and that purple bag is still undefeated when it comes to saving the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
Cutting corners is generally a bad idea, and when it comes to roofing, it's real bad. That's why Teamwork Roofing and Construction uses only the best materials, like Malarkey shingles, which perform better, protect longer, and are more sustainable. Residential or commercial. Got a complicated job? They've got the certified crews ready to deliver on time and on budget. You need a roof that's built on quality and powered by Teamwork. Teamwork Roofing and Construction. Log on to teamworkbuilt.com and get a quote today. That's teamworkbuilt.com.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit gopaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal price check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
WT Equipment is overstocked on new Bobcat equipment. The lots are packed and ready to move with special fall deals you don't want to miss. Bobcat is the industry leader, tough, reliable, and built for any job. Take your pick from compact track loaders, skid steers, excavators, and more, all backed by WT Equipment's trusted service and support. And don't forget, WT Equipment's Fall on the Lot community event is Saturday, October 4th from 12 to 4 p.m. Food, games, prizes, and family fun only at WT Equipment.
I don't need Chat GTP. I've got Chuck GTP.
Amen.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
By the way, good morning. We just kind of jumped in, and we're
Hey,
coffee deep. And hey, everybody,
Morning, Bart.
welcome in.
Edward.
Hope I smell the bacon cooking. It's going to be a good day.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Also happening over the weekend, Chuck.
Yes.
Yesterday, I'm outside in the driveway, and I hear a motorcycle coming. Down like a residential, it's a main street, but it's down 30-mile-an-hour residential. And it's over by Lake Fayetteville. And here comes this motorcycle. I mean, you can hear it. And I'm like, that's sirens. And then I realized the sirens are chasing the motorcycle.
Got a high-speed
And
chase
it goes,
in your neighborhood?
yes, flying right by. This is my girlfriend's neighborhood.
I got you.
But right by the driveway. Mm-hmm. 5 to 7 state troopers. And they're
How'd it
going
go?
up over this hill, and I know on the other side of this hill how to go.
Yeah.
And then you do the sirens. I'll do that
no.
to you. 5 to 7 state troopers in hot pursuit.
Wow.
And I know on the other side of this hill, like there's very little chance of stopping quickly once you crest this hill at the stop sign. And it didn't stop.
You catch some air?
And I don't know, but I know it did not end well for that fellow on the motorcycle. But you don't see that every day.
You don't see state troopers chasing a motorcycle in town. That means it started out of town. They've been after him for a while.
That's right. I haven't looked it up this morning. It may be in the news. But I did some checking with our state trooper friends.
Right.
Yeah. That didn't end well for that guy.
Yeah.
He survived, but may have wished he didn't.
I was going to say,
I don't know.
it was a bad ending.
Apparently, it started east of the lake on 412. And that's a ways away. That's what happening in the we're full service here. You got the weather. How's traffic?
Lots
this
of
morning?
things happened over the weekend.
Yeah.
And, we were able to observe.
I mean,
We had a weekend off.
Somebody got married in a parking lot.
Somebody got married in a parking lot. Bo's been revealed as the guy that hangs out at the QT. And
It's a
high-speed chase. We got it all.
And we came in this morning, and somebody dug a hole in our parking lot.
Really?
You see that pile of dirt by the front door?
I didn't notice.
I pull in, and Bart's standing over it.
I was examining.
I pulled.
Somebody buried a body
Maybe.
outside.
It's not quite big enough for that.
Yeah.
But it's a fair question.
I didn't see
what
it.
happened here over the weekend?
Well,
And they didn't do a great job of filling the hole in. Maybe we should get a shovel and get to the bottom of it, like during the show.
It was a really poor job. Whoever's responsible.
Anyhow, Bobby Petrino's coming up in 20 minutes. It's almost 7 o'clock on Monday. Chuck and Bo Show.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
When something goes wrong, a car wreck, an injury, mounting debt, or getting denied the help you deserve, it's hard to know where to turn.
That's when Cadell Reynolds shows up. This is a team that fights for Arkansans. Personal injury, disability, bankruptcy, they handle it all. And they know how to get results.
You've got enough to deal with. Don't try to figure it out alone.
Call Cadell Reynolds, 866-314-3728, or visit CadellReynolds.com.
Cadell Reynolds. Make the right call. Chevy of Fayetteville has over 200 new vehicles on the lot right now. So if you're in the market, now's the time to make a move. That includes the brand new Chevy Traverse, the Chevy Trax, and all the favorites like the Tahoes and Suburban. And for truck lovers, there are Silverados in stock and ready for immediate delivery. So go see Chris, Mark, Denver, and the team at Chevy of Fayetteville. Together, let's drive.
The voice of the Razorbacks is Chuck Barrett, and he chose McDonald Eye Associates for his recent cataract surgery.
I went to McDonald Eye. I can see in a way I've not seen in a long time. And I'm looking forward to this football season because of that. Your eyes are a big deal. I don't care if you're a sports play-by-play guy or what you do. You have to have trust. My trust was developed because I knew they were listening to me.
For your best vision, trust McDonald Eye. Online and same-day appointments at McDonaldEye.com.
So I spent yesterday. You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The Chuck and Bo Show. Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
Absolutely, it's an attractive job. Northwest Arkansas is a great place to live. It's a great place with a lot of money around it. And I think with the facilities, with some of the boosters that surround the program, there is no reason whatsoever Arkansas couldn't be a 12 one of the 12 teams in the college football playoff. But, oh, by the way, that's probably going to expand. So now you're talking, what, a 16-team playoff?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're damn right you can win at Arkansas.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this morning.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
Driving my son to school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "Let's turn on the Chuck and Bo Show."
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
I'm glad it's game week again. You know, last week when they lost that game and then Pittman got fired, it kind of felt like the season was over. You know, it just kind of felt like, well, the season's done.
Kind of felt like that at the end of the Memphis game.
Well, it did.
And then it was like a memorial service
right.
that
well,
didn't have any
a pretty good way
uplifting
to put
things
it. Yeah,
about it. In the
nobody
Notre Dame
said
game.
any good things at all. And but it just feels like a new season almost beginning this week.
We drew a line in the scorecard. Like, I think everybody just mentally has to do that, right? What is the expectation now for Razorback fans? I'm just curious to know. I spent time around a bunch of guys in that golf tournament over the weekend, and it was interesting to hear, like, hey, what do you think is going to happen? Who do you think the next head coach is going to be? And I'm like, well, they've got one. They've got the next head coach until otherwise proven. Everybody's on this deal where you love a coaching search and you love throwing all the names out. And the reality is, Chuck, we can't even figure out who the top 25 football teams are in college football. But somehow we know who the best coach is when we just gaze across the college football landscape and we just pluck a name out of thin air. We're like, that guy. You know why I like that guy? He's great on television.
That's right.
That guy.
That's why we like most of them. We like what they say.
That guy's done something somewhere. But like you tell me, like honestly, if you're ranking when they come out with these rankings, the best 15 coaches, head coaches in college football, it's laughable.
Bill
because,
Snyder.
Well, it'll change in a week. Forget a year. It'll change in a week. It can change week to week. Everybody in the world, and I still think he is a good coach, but everybody covering college football in that world thought Billy Napier was a really good coach. And I still think he is. And they won a game this past weekend, but they're still 2-3 after beating Texas.
It's just not a good fit. It's
at
just
Florida.
Not a good fit, yeah.
Okay, that word is a big word when it comes to hiring coaches. And when
It's
you start
everything.
plucking names out of the air,
that's why I keep going back to, like, Arkansas's next permanent head coach has to have prior SEC experience. Like that's a non-negotiable if you want to have a chance to win. Like that's part of the fit. Like you have to have been in this culture, in this conference before.
They've got a candidate who's not only got that but done it here before, and he's the last coach at Arkansas with a winning record. And what kind of coach is Bobby Petrino as a head coach in the SEC now? And as unfortunate as the circumstances are and how you walk into this situation, here comes an opportunity to see that at play and at work. This is a really tough task. We're going to talk to Coach Petrino in 10 minutes about this. But what is the vibe of Razor, which is a question we ask and have asked a lot since the beginning of the season? What is the feel of the fan base right now?
You know, the people that I've talked to have a lot of confidence in Coach Petrino, but they talk about the defense being like a sieve, just being awful.
Yeah.
I will submit to you that I think Arkansas's defense has a chance to get better, and here's why. And this happens every time at the end of a head coach's tenure. Either Coach Pittman lost his defensive staff or they quit on him. One of those two things happened. I think that's part of the reason those three guys who were let go. I think it's a big part of the reason Coach Petrino talked right away about the need for the offense and the defense to get on the same page. That defense is not as bad as it played against Notre Dame. Now, it may not be much better than what we saw against Memphis. May not be that much better than what we saw against Ole Miss, but it's not as bad as what we saw against Notre Dame. That was a defense. That was a group. I'm not casting stones at the players. I've seen it happen. We've all seen it happen. But there was not a lot of effort there. I'm not going to say they quit because they were still getting knocked around. I mean, when you're getting hit and hitting back, you've not quit, but you weren't playing with a lot of effort. I'm not saying effort is the entire answer, and I'm not saying yelling at them is the way that you get effort. But I do expect Arkansas's effort defensively to be a lot better. I don't expect them to shut anybody down or shut them out. I don't expect that. I think they're going to give up points, but I think they'll tackle better. I don't think you'll see as many blown assignments. You'll see some, but the idea that you're just going to see them like you did against Saturday, I don't think that's going to happen. So that's the reason I think defensively they'll be somewhat better. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, though, that I think they're going to be great on that side of the ball. They're going to have to score a lot of points, but I think they can.
They didn't have to be great on that side of the ball to have won 2 more games.
But you're right. You're right. They were both winnable games.
A little improvement, a little discipline, a little more connectivity, just being solid. Something Petrino mentioned in his news conference. By the way, if you're just hopping on, UCLA hammered Penn State over the weekend. It got, I guess, a little bit closer in the end, but they were in control of this game the whole way. 42-37 ended up being the outcome. UCLA hadn't led for a second the entire season. 0-4, fired their coach, came off a bye week, had Jerry Neuheisel calling plays, had never called plays before in his life. He was talking about this after the game.
It's up there. First thing I want to say is I love UCLA.
That's the different. I want to play the clip of.
By the way, he sounds just like his dad when he talks.
I mean, he sounds
just
talking
like
about
his dad.
the headset. There it is.
But all things you learn from. Like, I hate to say this, but I had never practiced with the headset in terms of, like, the button to talk to the quarterback. So there's, like, multiple times during the game I'm calling the play, but the headset's flipped up because I'm used to being a position coach. And then all of a sudden I'm pressing the wrong part of the button trying to talk to him. Like, it was a mess. Hopefully we'll get that cleaned up by next week. But just one of those days. It just all kind of fell into place.
Can you
they
imagine?
Carried him off the field.
They did.
Yeah.
But just the newness and sort of the reset and the refresh worked for UCLA. What will happen this week as Arkansas goes to Knoxville? What's week 1? What was the bye week like for Bobby Petrino? We'll ask the interim head coach of the Razorbacks when we come back. It's 7:09 on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Bo.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
High school sports in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley have never had a bigger stage. I'm Melissa Orange, host of the Varsity Vibe podcast, and every week we'll be bringing you the stories, highlights, and moments that matter most to our communities. Don't miss a beat. Subscribe to our newsletter, check out the Varsity Vibe podcast, and follow us on social media for the latest scores and spotlight features. Get it all at varsityvibearkansas.com.
Some moments just call for something unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you don't just buy a diamond. You create an unforgettable experience. Their newly remodeled space is stunning with Cafe B right inside and their in-house diamond expert that'll help you find the perfect piece every time. That's just part of the Blakeman's experience. When you see the purple bag, you know it's something special. It always saves the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
Are your gutters ready for fall? Leaves are coming, and that means it's time to protect your home. At Hogtroff Gutters, they install high-quality leaf guards that actually work. Don't waste money on the cheap guards from big box stores that clog up, and don't get stuck paying triple the price with those big national companies. With Hogtroff, you get the best of both worlds. Professional installation, premium aluminum, and stainless steel guards, as well as a 20-year warranty. Give them a call today to schedule your free inspection, or visit hoggutters.com.
There's simply not a better shopping experience than Macadoodles. Looking for the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits? Macadoodles or Guess Who in Bentonville has you covered. With an unbeatable selection, amazing prices, and service that's unbeatable, they've got everything you need. Whether you're stocking up for a party, updating your bar, or just grabbing your favorites, Roger and the team are always there to help. Make the smart choice. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista at the state line, and Guess Who in Bentonville.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You hear that? You hear that?
Back to Save Sports Radio.
That's special.
special place. I mean, that's why I'm so fortunate that I was able to come back here, and I think that we've got to get it back to that special place where everybody in the state is behind the Hogs.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
7:14. Good morning.
I will say this as he was talking right there. We were a united front when he was the head coach. That's for sure. Maybe the only time in the entire time we've been in the SEC, we've been a united front.
The last head coach to have a winning tenure here. Coach Bobby Petrino joining us on the Chuck and Bo Show now as the interim Razorback head coach. Coach, good morning.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Bo. Good morning, Chuck. How you guys doing?
Doing well.
Doing well. The question is, how are you doing after what can only be described as an unusual situation in terms of so many games left and trying to take the reins and kind of change the momentum of the season? What's this been like?
It's been a little bit of a wild ride, but it's been fun. Not a lot of sleep, but a lot of good work. I'm excited about the way our players reacted to practice last week and the way we got better each day at practice as far as our effort and attitude and physicalness. So looking forward to getting back out on the field today for a little while, but really getting out there tomorrow to start the week off right.
Coach, you talked about going without some sleep. Can you talk us through the difference in an offensive coordinator preparing for a football game as opposed to the head coach?
Well, the nice thing about offensive coordinator is, my job was to make sure the quarterback was ready to go. I got to spend a lot of time in the meeting room with them and, watching video, making sure they knew the game plan, understanding protections and the run. Now you have to oversee everything, so you spend time with the defensive staff, make sure we spend time with practicing special teams the way we want to practice special teams. So there's just a lot more things to handle. The good thing is the offensive staff is intact and guys that are working that I trust, and I know that when I leave the room, they just continue moving forward and going on.
Coach, when you take over this situation, I can only imagine there's 100, 1,000 things that go through your mind about what you want to do. How do you go about prioritizing, because you don't have an entire summer or training camp? You do have a bye week, basically 3 practices, some meetings, but you're trying to maybe change the way people are thinking. You're dealing with emotions. How do you take that into a plan and execute here moving forward?
Well, what we really tried to do last week is to understand it is about the players, and let's make it where they enjoy coming into the building, they enjoy working hard, make sure that the attitude in the building is good, the attitude out on the field is good, and try to make sure they understand that what we're trying to do as a coach is make them better. Let them have a better understanding of how to play their position, how to play together as a team, how to play with great effort. So it's kind of easy to just focus on how to help the player get better, and I think our staff did a really good job of that. I'm also trying to make it so it's a good experience for the staff, so that they grow and mature here in the next 2 months and get better as an individual coach, and maybe a new responsibility that they have that will help them get focused and really enjoy what they're doing.
How have the defensive players responded to the new coaches?
Well, I thought, the first meeting was hard. We got guys in there that, all of a sudden life has changed a little bit. But I told them that's exactly the same as me. I came here with my idea that I was going to coach the quarterbacks and coordinate the offense, and all of a sudden the guy that trusted me and hired me and did a great deal for me is not here any longer. So we all have to understand that it's not going to be the last time we have change in our life. In fact, it's going to go on and on and on. So it's up to us to have a positive attitude and grow from it, not take a step backwards. And, once we got a long meeting going and then we got out on the field, I think that the players came together and their attitude's been good.
Coach, staying with the defense, what have you seen there? What have you evaluated? What has to happen to give you a better chance on that side of the ball?
Well, we gotta cut it down a little bit so everybody's out on the field and understands exactly what to do. You know, when you're not understanding exactly what to do and all 11 pieces aren't working together, it's hard to stop somebody. We have to play the principles of good defense, which is getting a great stance, get my eyes right, have great get off, no matter what position we're playing. We got to shed blocks, run full speed to the ball, and tackle well. And you know, first thing we need to do is stop the run. Once we stop the run, then we can look at how to eliminate the big plays down the field throwing the ball.
Coach, you've talked some about, you know, just the fact the newness, the players adjusting to all of this. I know that's hard to do inside 3 practices or a week, but what's your assessment on I don't know that turning the page is the right way to put it, but the way the players have put last week behind them and looking forward to a game now?
Yeah, I think that, you know, we're going to find out a little bit more. They did a good job last week. I was proud of the attitude that we had, the effort that they gave at practice, how willing they were to work hard. Gave them 3 days off, so they were off Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Come back, and a group of them are in the weight room right now working hard. And then we get some good meeting time in. A short practice today. You know, I don't really like to practice a lot on Mondays. I kind of have a routine to go through Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I don't like leaving it on the practice field. So we're going to try to get them to understand what the schedule is going to be and how to prepare your mind and your body to go to battle on Saturday.
You talked about some of them being in the weight room. Will they lift a little bit more? It seems like that's one of the things you've liked to have teams do in the past.
Yeah, we'll get in there and throw the weight around a little bit more and certainly have, you know, different guys on different schedules. So a lot of times the starters and guys that play a lot of reps are going to be in there pounding away 2 times a week, and guys that are developing and keep growing need to do it as the rest of the season goes on. So they'll get in there a little bit more, and some of that's on a voluntary basis because of the hour restrictions that we have.
Coach, it seemed like if you don't fumble at Ole Miss, you don't fumble at Memphis, maybe you win both of those games. And then you get in the Notre Dame game, and it just didn't seem like the same team, like maybe there had been some carryover effect. And I remember talking to an analyst on the show who was like, you know, when you're way better on one side of the ball, eventually that can kind of catch up, and there's more pressure on that side of the ball. Looking at the offense, like what has to happen to kind of get back to what looked so and felt so dynamic earlier in the season?
Yeah, we got to get back to, you know, our mental state and making sure that we're getting out on the field and we're tough and believe in each other and expect to go score every time we touch the ball. And I felt like those first 4 games, our guys did that. They played with great speed and effort. We were able to protect the quarterback and not turn the ball over except for twice like that. But we got to get that back. There's no question about that. I do feel like at halftime at the Notre Dame game that, you know, the offense didn't do a very good job of re-energizing and going out and being able to feel like and believe. A lot of offense is believing that you can do it, believing in one play at a time. And I felt like when they looked at the scoreboard that they gave that idea that they weren't believing we were going to be able to come back and get it done.
Coach, when Hunter Yurachek made the announcement to let Sam Pittman go and you were going to be the interim head coach, they included in the announcement that you had made it known that you'd like to be the full-time head coach at the University of Arkansas. It's a little unusual to hear that, in my experience, in that kind of press release. What was that conversation like? How did this come about? And why is that important to you, after being a coordinator here the last few years?
Yeah, it was about probably the least amount of the conversation that we had.
Yeah.
You know, when he said, would you like to be the head coach or a candidate for the job going forward? I said, of course I would. And that's all there was to that. You know, like I said before, my focus is just on what we can do now in 8 weeks and how we can make this a great experience and get better and win games.
What do you do the rest of the way, Coach? And maybe you've already touched on it, but like when we sit here on the outside and we look at the schedule, it's just like, man, what a challenge, what a task. How do you over time here, just week to week, keep guys sort of swimming in the same direction, being together, being connected?
Well, I think you do it on a daily basis. It's one day at a time, and just focus on what we can do today. And like I said, part of this is for the players to make themselves more marketable, make their brand better for their future, whether it's going into the NFL, whether it's transferring, whether it's staying here. They've got to sell themselves, and they've got to put it on video so that they can sell themselves as a product. And if we can understand that and then stick together and play for each other, I think you'll see us get better and better.
We'll get you out of here with this. Game week, Tennessee. Let's just talk ball for a second. The matchup. What do you got to do to go give yourself a chance to win this game in a tough environment?
I'm excited about it. I think offensively what we've got to do is protect the quarterback and move forward, not have negative plays. As long as we're going forward on first down, second down, get in positions where we can execute on our third downs, that's been a strength of ours all year long, and we've got to rely on that. Defensively, it's going to start with shutting down the run. As much as Tennessee is, plays those spread formations and does all that, they rely on running the football. So we've got to be able to do that and then get off the field on third down. I think one of the issues that we've had is getting off the field on third down. So if we can do that, we'll be right in there in the fourth quarter, and that's what we want to do is make it a fourth quarter game where we're in an opportunity to win the game in the fourth quarter.
Sorry, Coach, I got one more. I lied. About the future. Not just this season, but you got recruiting. You got big picture. What's your vision for right now, but also just kind of where this program can go?
Well, the only way you can do that is operate like you are going to be here, and that's what we did this past week when we were recruiting and all the coaches going out to different schools, getting in, talking to the high school coaches, talking to the recruits, going to games. It was a lot of fun. It was great to see guys out there, and certainly exciting to watch some of the recruits that we had on the field live.
Coach, thank you. We know you got to get to it. We appreciate you making time for us. Good luck this week.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Coach Bobby Petrino with us on the Chuck and Bo Show. I mean, sitting here having this conversation is like we just time warped and just squeezed all these years away. And it's like we're back in 2012.
Well, the interesting thing in all of this to me has been from the get-go. And I know it was a short part of their conversation, he and Hunter, about him being a candidate for the job, beyond this season. When he said right there, you've got to go into this as though you're going to be the guy. You've got to continue to recruit. I'm encouraged by the fact they were out last week. The last thing in the world you want is for your interim staff not to be out on the road, because that tells you all they're doing is trying to find their next job. I think that's good. And I think he's right. It's kind of like we talked about with Pittman. It's business as usual until it's not. The day before Arkansas played Notre Dame was like every Friday in that football building. And then they lost the next day and everything changed.
I got to say this, Chuck. I just thought about this. There was such a cloud over Coach Pittman, even going into the year. And I remember you and I sitting here talking about it all the time about, you got to let it play out. You got to let these guys go play. But the players, they get that, that especially when you lose a tight game and then you lose another one, and it just begins to weigh on everybody, and it becomes about the head coach and that entire situation, even if you're not trying to make it that as the head coach. I love Petrino's approach here to make it about those guys and their futures individually and collectively, and not about hey, whether I'm going to be the guy or not. This is not about playing for me. It's about playing for you and each other. And maybe there's something to that will free this team up a little bit.
It may.
And we'll see.
It may.
But that's just a thought of something that's changed, I think, since this transition. 7:28. It's the Chuck and Bo Show. Let me tell you about our friends at Teamwork Roofing and Construction. They're doing what Coach Petrino is talking about there all the time, trying to focus on their guys and their materials and their customers to make sure that all comes together for the best roofing experience that you could possibly have. From getting the quote, to getting the right communication, to being on time, to coming in on budget, and then leaving you with a job that's sustainable and it's going to last, and a job site that's clean, it's immaculate, that their whole goal is to leave
not a single nail behind. That's the goal at Teamwork Roofing and Construction, make you happy and give you what you expected. Teamworkbuilt.com is the website if you want to check it out. Teamworkbuilt.com. It's Teamwork Roofing and Construction. They're built on quality and powered by teamwork. You're right, Chuck. You're right. You're right.
You're not wrong, Chuck.
Because
that's
we don't
all I
want
wanted to hear. That's really all I wanted to hear.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
WT Equipment is overstocked on new Bobcat equipment. The lots are packed and ready to move with special fall deals you don't want to miss. Bobcat is the industry leader, tough, reliable, and built for any job. Take your pick from compact track loaders, skid steers, excavators, and more, all backed by WT Equipment's trusted service and support. And don't forget, WT Equipment's Fall on the Lot community event is Saturday, October 4th from 12 to 4 p.m. Food, games, prizes, and family fun only at WT Equipment.
Truck Month is here at Chevrolet of Fayetteville, and the savings are big. Get up to $12,000 off new Silverados, up to $8,000 off Chevy 2500s, and up to $5,000 off Chevy Colorado. That's real money back in your pocket. Plus more inventory, more discounts, and better service than anywhere else in Northwest Arkansas. Stop by today and see Chris, Mark, and Denver at Chevrolet of Fayetteville. Chevrolet of Fayetteville. Together, let's drive.
Know what else makes you an Arkansas Razorback fan? Going to the University of Arkansas. How about playing football for the team?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I love the game of football. I love the University of Arkansas and the Razorbacks and being back in the state. And I was asked if I would want to come back and serve as the interim head coach. And I felt, like it was my duty to do that.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
877-377-6963. What'd you think of the Petrino interview? What'd you think of this whole last week? What do you think is going to happen? What are your thoughts now that Bobby Petrino, as I was asked yesterday by Chris Lowe, put this in perspective and what it feels like sort of seeing him with the headset on again. What will it feel like when you see him on Saturday? And I think to some extent, everybody's still trying to wrap their head around that. And for those that lived that Petrino era, it's very exciting. Maybe for some of those people and certainly others, it's like, okay, well, what are we getting now as the head coach? And I think what you heard right there is one of the things you're getting. A very decisive approach and making sure everybody understands there's no maybes when it comes to him and laying out a plan. There's no, maybe this or maybe that. It is very direct and to the point. And I think that kind of communication gives you a shot right now.
Well, I think we're seeing, in many ways, a lot of the same things that we saw and heard before. It sounds like it's been refined. Sounds like he's a different person than he was then. At least that's been my experience from the time that I've been around him. So, but now he still coaches one way. I think it's the only way he knows to coach, and it works for him. So why would he change it? I think he coaches the way his dad coached. I think he coaches the way he's coached football all his life. He coaches them hard. And I don't think he's – now, look, I'm sure there's some things you could say 20 years ago you can't say now. I'm certain of that. But I'm quite certain that, he still pushes him to the brink.
I'll say this before we go to the phones. This reminds the way this team is built, the way they've been constructed, is a kind of team that is not really that unexpected for a Bobby Petrino head coached team. I know he wasn't the head coach when this was put together, but I think part of his messaging will be, hey, defense, we don't need you to be awesome. We need you to get a few stops.
It wasn't like Arkansas set the world on fire defensively when he was here before.
We need a turnover here now. And then he's going over to the offense and saying, guys, we don't have to do everything, but we're built to win this way. And then the approach is going to be to win that way. And for whatever that's worth, I mean, that's what we've seen from Petrino over the years. Brent and Searcy, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Man, Chuck and Bo, how are y'all this morning?
Brent, great. How are you?
I am outstanding. I'm on the back porch having a cup of coffee. Had a heater while I was listening to the.
Yeah, we knew that.
To the interview, to Coach Petrino's interview.
Is there anything better than listening to a Coach Petrino interview with a cup of coffee and a cig?
No, there is not. I'm going to go ahead and tell you.
That's living right there.
That is living to the utmost degree right there. Yeah. And I got to say, you can just hear the excitement and energy in Coach Petrino's voice. He's ready to go. He's cranking. He's getting the keys out to the Ferrari and fixing to pull it out of the garage.
I thought you were going to say something about the left lane.
Nope. We're not going to go in the left lane. We're just going to go to the shoulder if we got to pass.
We're going to weave through. We're going to weave through traffic.
Put in the left lane and pop the clutch and put the hammer down.
Get that out of here. Yeah.
No, we're not going to pop. We don't have our clutch is always popped with Coach Petrino. You know that. So we don't. And I am excited. I'm going to Knoxville this weekend for the ball game.
Wow.
Okay.
Are you going to take that new van out on the road, put some road miles on it?
Chuck, I've already got 10,000 on it, my man.
Oh, my gosh. You're a world traveler.
Brent likes to drive.
Oh, he goes, man. He gets out and goes.
He's got things to do. He's a mover and a shaker.
And I got to tell y'all something. That was a welcome sight for a high school coach that I know very well when the Arkansas assistant came to his school Friday. He really enjoyed it, talked ball with him. It was really good.
What are you hearing, Brent? Are the coaches out there talking to the Arkansas kids?
That's what I'm hearing, but I don't know where everybody was. I just know that one of the coaches was at a school that I'm really good friends with the head coach.
I got you. Yeah. Well, I like what he said about you got to treat it like you're going to be here. And I think, Chuck, depending on, how it goes week to week, that could be a belief that becomes even stronger.
I think when you say he's got the inside track, I'm not sure that's not selling it short a little bit. Yeah. I mean, he's got the inside track, and there's a big part of me that expects him to be the coach next year.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Cecil's in Fort Smith. Cecil, good morning.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Cecil.
I think Coach Petrino, he's under a lot of pressure because of what he did when he was here last time, and it's a lot of pressure. It's just a lot of pressure, and just this season, what games we have left, I think he needs to be granted something, maybe a 2-year contract, a 3-year contract, maybe something like that. Just don't judge him for what he has to offer at the moment, because he's going to really try. He's going to do really good, but we got to work with whatever we got.
Oh, yeah. So, I think from a pressure standpoint, I don't think he's thinking about it like that. I don't think that's how his mind works. I don't think this is about him coming back and trying to, undo a wrong. I mean, that's in the past. That's over. I think what he's trying to do is what he loves to do, and that's get a team to understand what to do and execute it. And I love that he's made it about the players and their futures as well.
I didn't.
But
mean
it is challenging. I hear you. But it is challenging.
Right.
Yeah, this is no
doubt. He want to do. He want to do good, and he's gonna do good. But he got to do it his way. And maybe some of the players that Sam got, he didn't probably agree. It's just a lot of things, though. I think he needs to have at least a couple of years, and we would do good. And I got one more thing to say. Texas suck. They're overrated.
Yeah.
They suck. They suck.
Yeah,
they suck. I had Florida head up.
Yes.
4 times. Head up. I took them head up.
Yeah. Oh, really? What'd that pay on the
Florida
money
head
line?
up.
What'd that play on the money
I've been
line?
hitting all week. I've been hitting all week, Bo.
You had a heater.
Week.
You were on a heater.
Man, I didn't hit 6 times out of the last 11 times.
Jeez.
And I'm on tonight. All I got to do is get Jacksonville in there.
Man, you're on a heat. Brent's on a different heater.
I'm
He's ripping
underdog,
cigs, and Cecil's ripping bets.
I'll be listening.
What were the odds on Florida on the money line in that game? I can't remember.
Oh God, I got to go back on my phone and look, but it was 300 or something like that.
It was 300, 350.
I could
I
tell.
think it was.
I could tell when you came on, something was different about your energy today. Now we know it
Oh
was.
my! Hey, no, Bo. Honestly, I'm totally blessed. I've been through a lot in my life, but I'm totally blessed to get up at 60 years old and work. I work 6-7 days a week, and I can get up and listen to my favorite radio station. I love y'all, man. Y'all have a blessed day.
We appreciate it.
All right.
I appreciate it. I'm about to make your life better, Cecil. If you like steak, if you like beef, I want to tell you about the guys that we have partnered with here on the Chuck and Bo Show. Edward can attest to this. He just had one of the beef sticks. Plainview Beef Company is a game changer, Chuck. No hormones, no antibiotics, no GMOs, no hidden chemicals. This is fuel for your body, loaded with omega-3s, protein, and nutrients you need to perform and recover. They finished their cattle with wheatgrass sprouts, which gives you steaks that are unbelievably tender, juicy, and packed with flavors. The chefs love it because the meat keeps its moisture and has a taste you cannot find anywhere else. I've met with these guys, the science they have, the clean beef, plainviewbeefcompany.com is a game changer. And if you go to Plainview Beef right now, you can get the cleanest beef direct to consumer. Order online, 6 fillets, 6 8-ounce fillets, Chuck, for $99. They got T-bones and ribeyes, too. Every cut that you can imagine having, and it'll be delivered right to you, and it'll taste better than anything you've put in your mouth when it comes to steak. Give it a try. In fact, if you go to plainviewbeefcompany.com, plainviewbeefcompany.com, you go on their website. When you go to order, you use the promo code Chuck and Bo. They'll send you a 12-pack of these beef sticks that have 8 to 12 grams of protein in them, no preservatives, clean. And Edward, what does it taste like?
Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing.
So I gave you one because I ate the rest of them.
I had it about an hour ago, and I wouldn't typically go to the beef stick snack before 7 a.m. But that I would eat that.
It doesn't feel heavy.
No.
It gives you that.
It
when
doesn't
you're
taste
hungry.
like that.
Yeah.
That gas station beef stick. You're used to.
Chuck's pissed.
Tasted like
because
real
he hasn't
food.
had
I
one
was
yet.
going to say, you didn't. I'm looking at Bart over here, and like neither one of us know what you're talking about.
We will have a box here today.
You know?
This one right here. We'll tell you a little bit of how much I enjoyed it.
We need a grill.
There were
outside
12 in
so
there.
we can grill
They're
these
gone.
steaks during the show.
You will have steaks to grill. PlainviewBeefCompany.com. Look it up. Make your order. Chuck and Bo get the free 12-pack of beef sticks to come with it. Going to change your life. 746. Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Yeah, what's your point?
You want my point?
Yes, I asked for it. Make it.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
The voice of the Razorbacks is Chuck Barrett, and he chose McDonald Eye Associates for his recent cataract surgery.
I went to McDonald Eyes. I can see in a way I've not seen in a long time. And I'm looking forward to this football season because of that. Your eyes are a big deal. I don't care if you're a sports play-by-play guy or what you do. You have to have trust. My trust was developed because I knew they were listening to me.
For your best vision, trust McDonald Eye. Online and same-day appointments at McDonaldEye.com.
The Razorback Raffle is back. This raffle is a new and exciting way to support Razorback athletics, whether you're inside Razorback Stadium or calling the Hogs anywhere in the great state of Arkansas. Our inaugural raffle jackpots grew to nearly $500,000 last spring. Now you can be our next big winner, even if you're not in the stadium. Get your raffle ticket purchased to have a chance to win big right now at RazorbackRaffle.com.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
Oaklawn is here for when you want real action, and the wait is over. Live racing is back. Every weekend brings big moments, big crowds, and your chance to feel the thrill of a big win. The holiday racing season begins Friday, December 12th, and runs through January 4th. Then the excitement returns with the classic racing season, January 30th through May 2nd. It's racing, it's winning, it's everything you've been waiting for. Oaklawn Hot Springs. Join the fun. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
When something goes wrong, a car wreck, an injury, mounting debt, or getting denied the help you deserve, it's hard to know where to turn.
That's when Cadell Reynolds shows up. This is a team that fights for Arkansans. Personal injury, disability, bankruptcy, they handle it all. And they know how to get results.
You've got enough to deal with. Don't try to figure it out alone.
Call Cadell Reynolds, 866-314-3728, or visit CadellReynolds.com.
Cadell Reynolds. Make the right call.
Cutting corners is generally a bad idea. And when it comes to roofing, it's real bad. That's why Teamwork Roofing and Construction uses only the best materials, like Malarkey shingles, which perform better, protect longer, and are more sustainable. Residential or commercial. Got a complicated job? They've got the certified crews ready to deliver on time and on budget. You need a roof that's built on quality and powered by Teamwork. Teamwork Roofing and Construction. Log on to teamworkbuilt.com and get a quote today. That's teamworkbuilt.com.
When is the last time you thought, oh, the SEC's making an announcement today, and it's going to be good for the Hogs?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
when you see the bubble, does that mean they're texting you, or does it just mean they're texting?
No, it means they're texting you.
Because sometimes you'll see the bubble, and then they'll think, no, I guess I don't want to say that.
It's like when I text you at night, good night, I'm thinking about you, Chuck, I love you, and I see the bubble come on, and then it goes off.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Chuck, let me just slight correction here. PlainviewBeef.com. You don't have to put company in there.
Okay.
PlainviewBeef.com. Yeah, order those amazing steaks there, and you get the 12 steak sticks for free if you enter Chuck and Bo in the promo code. You know how they have that when you order online?
Right.
Just go to Plainview Beef. You're going to be excited once you've had. I apologize.
Well, Bart and I need to make note of that because apparently we're going to have to order our own.
He was hungry. He was hungry. You're not going to have
I didn't say anything about being hungry.
Yeah, you did. You said
No.
you said that sounds like I could eat something like that right now, and so I went and got it for you.
Well, it just sounded good the way you were describing
Well, and also you're a little, I don't want to say you're hungover, but you're a little
I'm
tired
not
from the concert
hungover.
last night. Here now is the loser of the weekend, Brian and Ozark. Brian, how's it feel?
Loser of the weekend, huh? All I got to say about that is, I'm not so hip on Arch Manning, and I really never was.
Now, that's not true. You called in before the season and talked about him like the second coming.
Yeah, well, if you shut up for a minute.
Okay. All right, big shot. Go ahead,
his
tough guy.
his uncles sucked in their first game, too, but here's the real deal. Why do all these losing Arkansas fans like Cecil? It sucks because Arkansas ain't done shit in 20 years.
Wow.
Bobby Petrino's a faggot. He sucks.
Boy, you really are angry. You really are angry.
Bobby Petrino.
Listen, I mean, the anger, when you lose all control with your anger, Brian, that's just when it's like, hey, man, we can't even have a conversation here. Irrational, and it's like just you've lost your control.
What a sore loser.
Well, listen, let's take a step back for a second and say this. No, let's just talk about this for a second. The man has lost all control of his feelings, thoughts, and emotions. I mean, that's serious.
He's lost his faculties.
I mean, he really just take a step back, take a breath. And let's maybe develop some mental clarity.
He's still bitter about the Muppets guy. The thing you guys play. He's still bitter about that.
But I mean, it does sound like him. I mean, it was fair. It was a fair depiction.
That guy.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Brian. You don't have to have the same viewpoints we have. That's obvious. We got plenty of people that call in that don't. But it's your delivery and your sour attitude that you come in here with. And, by the way, you bring it in on a high horse.
There's children listening, Brian.
And then
on their way to school.
On their way to school, no less. I mean, they're going to walk. Their parents barely even have any time to explain this. The bell rings at 8, and they're like, oh, sorry, kid. Jeez.
YouTube's going to frown on that.
Thanks, Brian.
Take a good look at yourself, Brian. Get it together.
When it comes to watching games, nobody does it like Walk-Ons. Over 60 TVs at every location, and the food and drinks win. Mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine like po' boys and gumbo, plus fan favorites like the best burger you can get anywhere, and more draft beers and cocktails than you can count. Incredible food, wonderful service, and a viewing experience like none other. Walk-On Sports Bistro. We live for this.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal Price Check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
There's simply not a better shopping experience than Macadoodles. Looking for the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits? Macadoodles or Guess Who in Bentonville has you covered. With an unbeatable selection, amazing prices, and service that's unbeatable, they've got everything you need. Whether you're stocking up for a party, updating your bar, or just grabbing your favorites, Roger and the team are always there to help. Make the smart choice. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista at the state line, and Guess Who in Bentonville.
Buying or selling a home's a big deal, and you want someone who is with you every step of the way. That's why those of us at the Chuck and Bo Show wholeheartedly recommend Weicher Realtors, the Griffin Company, because we've experienced it. They've been my partners for life. They're Bo's partner now, and I promise you, when you become involved with Weicher Realtors, the Griffin Company, they'll become your partners for life too. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can always log on and check out their selection at WeicherGriffin.com.
Chris in Fayetteville, you're on the news, weather, information station.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, we're full service, baby.
The Chuck and Bo Show. Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
As long as we're talking about things that we don't understand, what is with the pulling into the convenience store with your music at a normal level and getting out of your car and going inside and cranking it up like to 10 while you're outside your car? I don't get that. I see it at convenience stores quite often. Kids will come in. It's a thing among the kids. It is. I've seen it repeatedly.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this morning.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
Do you mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm in my Sunday school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "Let's heard on the Chuck and Bo Show."
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
I'm not sure we have a caller on this program that can elicit responses the way Brian can. I mean, when Brian comes on the show, the text line explodes, all the messages on YouTube, all that stuff just like, it just hits a zenith. Everyone hates Brian. That's the deal, right there.
Look, he brings it on himself, and it's not personal, but he makes it that way. And so then it is personal, and, we get texts like this, which is true. Brian seems like the kind of guy that would gripe about the taxes after you give him a bonus check. Like, is there anything okay with Brian?
Some were a little more graphic. Some of the texts we got about him.
Yeah, you're in the
I'm not
weeds
going to
on
go
that.
there. I'm not going to go there.
Were they more graphic than he was?
Right about the same.
Yeah.
About the same.
Well, see, that he set the tone.
Yeah, he did.
He sets the tone
One
for
person
himself.
says a bad word, and everybody feels like they can say it then, too.
I mean, to be fair, I set the tone on the call when I brought him on by, hey, here's the loser of the weekend.
Yeah, that.
But I met the energy that I knew he was already coming in with. You know what I mean? I was barking at the barking dog because as soon as you hit, you're on, it's barking.
He gets genuinely mad, too.
He's always mad.
That's the best part.
Do you think he's ever happy?
I don't know.
Like, even when his team is winning, he wants to talk about other people being terrible, or to use his word, sucking, instead of how good his team is. Like, just stick with my team's great. But he almost never wants to do that.
He has to put you down.
He has to talk about other people and their negative things or negative thoughts about them. He just can't enjoy his own moment. So then when his moment's not good either, I mean, it's just, you saw what happened. It's a collision of just nothing but darkness.
When Texas loses, and I mean, we just revel in it. It's not even about the players losing. It's not about the coaches losing. It's about the fans. It's about guys like Brian.
Yeah, it's like about Brian.
It is.
Yeah, and that's some of the
It's
texts.
all about Brian.
That's some of the other texts we've gotten here was Brian is a perfect example of a Texas fan. Perfect, arrogant idiot. Bad winner, worse loser.
Yeah, there's that part
sums it up. That's from Clay Henry, by the way. Nelson and Harrison. Nelson, good morning.
Hey guys, welcome to Sunshine Pumpers R Us. Rainbows and unicorns here today. No, I'm just kidding. I
Let's
just
do
wanted
it.
to say that.
Kool-Aid
Guys,
Corner, open for business.
Kool-Aid Corner, here we go. No, I want to say this, guys. Brian from Ozark. It really sounded like reality slapped him in the face this morning. He just wanted to cuss and throw a fit and kick and stomp and, guys, I got to say cuss words because this team of Texas sucks.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
anyways, that's what it was, just a big kid throwing a fit.
Yeah.
Well, guys, this is what I want to say, okay? I went over yesterday to a little place called Siloam Springs where reality dissolves and all your grandest
Norman
things become
Rockwell
alive.
is alive and well.
Hey,
Broken.
Watch what you say about
the
Siloam
smell.
Springs.
Well, it's when you go in those doors and you smell
Edward's
it.
hometown.
It's a smell of broken dreams.
So, anyways,
Careful.
I'm in there, and it was like the Notre Dame game, but I wasn't Notre Dame that day. And I was getting me some lunch and stuff before I left, and I go into the restroom and washing my hands, and there's an older gentleman comes up, and I've got Arkansas garb head to toe. I mean, I'm in the gear, and he goes, "Well, what do you think about these Razorbacks?" And I said, "Well," I said, "every time I say something that's wrong, so I'm just going to say they're my Razorbacks, and I love them." And old boy back goes, "Boomer!" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, here we go." And then he goes on a tangent about Bobby Petrino. He's like, "You guys have got a good coach. You better keep him." I met him on a plane, got his phone out, showed me a picture with him and Bobby Petrino. He said, "We're taking him in Oklahoma right now. Don't let him go." He was inebriated, but that don't matter. But, guys, I'm going to tell you something. Bobby has this is what that guy said, and this is what I'm going to say. He said, Bobby has a swagger about him.
Yeah.
He said, "I don't care what you say, Bobby Petrino has a swagger about him." And I'll tell you something else, guys. I seen Trevor Brazile jump over Edward Zatzit the other night live and in person, so I believe anything right now. Go Hawks.
Hey, by the way, real quick, give us the play correspondent for a second since you were there.
Yeah.
I was prime time at the Palace. Give me just a couple of takeaways.
Honestly, guys, prime time at the Palace was a show. It was a spectacle. That's what it was meant to be. But it come off, I thought it came off great. I thought it was, our kids had fun. That's what it's about. These kids want to show out for the Arkansas fans, and that's what they did. Calipari did his thing. The fans got to do their thing. I mean, it was absolutely what you would want.
That's great.
It was, the lower bowl was full. What part was supposed to be full? And, these kids had a good time, and the fans had a good time. And I think that our basketball team has the pieces to do some things this year.
There you go. Now, just say this. Reporting for the Chuck and Bo Show, I'm Nelson.
Reporting for the Chuck and Bo Show, this was Nelson from Harrison.
Bang. That's like Jeremy Schaap.
That's right.
ESPN. Ryan and Goshen, you are on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Hey, guys. I think it's just funny with Brian from Ozark. They think like they're Alabama or something. I think people forgot. Like, they only won the Big 12 like 3 times since 2000. Oklahoma was dominant in that run. And so, of course, they had the 2 years with Colt McCoy, and they had, Vince Young, one of the greatest players of all time. But it's just funny to think that they ran this kind of, everybody forgets the Big 12 was like basketball on a football field, like no defense. They were pretty terrible for years. And I think it's funny. I lived in Texas for almost 12 years, and every Texas fan is like that, condescending, think they're the greatest fans ever walked. And, of course, they've had a good run since they've been here in the SEC. And, of course, as Arkansas fans, we're all going to jump on and pile on because, they're kind of starting to come back down to reality a little bit. So, hey, go Hogs. Hopefully we beat Tennessee.
Yeah, it'll be tough to beat Tennessee. Gosh, I'm slow on the trigger today. It like the Tennessee game, here's the dynamic, right? Like the Tennessee guys don't really know what to expect in some areas. They know the Arkansas offense. They've seen that. I think they know a little bit of what to expect there. But, what they're probably going to see from an effort standpoint, I'm not sure that it's on tape yet. Like that may be a little bit of a different thing for them.
I don't think there's going to be a play that we look out and say to ourselves, they weren't even trying on that play. And there was more than one against Notre Dame. I don't think there will be a play
the end of the
like
Memphis
that.
game was weird.
Yeah.
I mean, when that guy carried him, 7 yards or whatever.
Right.
But look, we know it's a challenge, and it's an upset for sure, to say the least, if they go to Tennessee and win. And I guess I would ask Razorback fans, just where are you for the rest of this year? What do you expect to happen? What do you want to see? Obviously, you want to win every game on the schedule. But from a realistic standpoint, what will make you feel better?
I want to see the team before the fumble at Ole Miss. See, I think everything's changed since then. I think that's the key play of the season. Forget Memphis, forget Notre Dame. To me, the key play of the season was the fumble at Oxford. I want to see them be the team they were before that, because that team wasn't bad.
Yeah. Well, and they weren't great on defense.
No,
but they did have a couple of stops, and they had a couple stops when it mattered.
Well, Nelson said something about how Petrino carries himself, that there's a certain swagger, and he's right. He's right. Not just Bobby, but the entire team walks that way when he's their head coach. I remember very well how it was. I don't think they've played like that, but I think they had more of it before the end of the Ole Miss game than they had, or that they've had since. That's what I'd like to see. I would like to see them carry themselves like a football team that expects to win. And I think until that fumble, I think they did.
That's a good point. Ben's in Fayetteville. Ben, good morning. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Good morning, Chuck. Good morning, Bo.
Hey, man.
Guys, I think we need to put together a bit of a winning streak. And I think it could start in Tennessee. I think they're going to come in underrated. I saw Bet Saracen just basically has written them off. But I think if you're going to bring some swagger back here with Bobby and maybe give him a chance to stay on as the head coach, we've got to put together a winning streak. And I don't know the last time we had a 3 or 4 game win streak, but I think that's what we need right now. I think that's what the fan base needs. I hate to say we deserve it because that sounds like we're entitled, but I think we need 3, 4 wins in a row, and maybe you guys know when the last time that happened. But what's your take on what you're hearing? Because you guys are in the know. By clearing out some of the, I hate to say dead wood, maybe some of the attitudes got checked at the door, are we going to see some, I don't know what to expect, but I hope they pull this off at Tennessee. And I'll hang up and listen. You guys take care.
You too, Ben. I don't know what to expect at Tennessee other than what Chuck said. I think you're going to see them playing hard. But I think Petrino's message makes sense. If I'm a player, that makes sense to me about it being you and for each other. But this is your future you're putting on the line when you go out here. And it's not to be underestimated the way Petrino carries himself, and it's not that he's boisterous about it. I'm not saying he doesn't coach hard and raise his voice, but he's not like walking around with, like this primetime type attitude and a bunch of talk and flamboyancy. But there is a feeling from a leadership standpoint that this guy knows what he's talking about, and he knows what he's doing, and he's very decisive. And I think that mentality carries over to the rest of the team, and you follow that, and it makes you feel confident in your game plan. And I don't know how confident they really were after the Ole Miss fumble as a team, like overall confidence. And I think you saw that when a few things went poorly in the Memphis game. You saw confidence from a team perspective deteriorate a little bit. By the way, Oaklawn Sports, Arkansas's best sports betting app, has the game at 13.5 points on Saturday.
That's a lot.
That's where it opens.
That's a lot.
Tennessee, 13.5.
And Arkansas fans are talking about going over there and winning the game. Not just covering the spread, but winning the game. Hey, I'd love for them to rip off 3 or 4 wins in a row, too. I think every program in the country right now would say, hey, I'd like to rip off 3 or 4 in a row. It's going to be hard to do that. But, obviously you can't rip off 3 or 4 in a row until you win that first one. So I think they've got a shot at Tennessee. Tennessee's heavily favored, and they deserve to be. But I think Arkansas's got a shot.
If you go there and play well, and there's always this argument about there are no moral victories. But there is something to be said for them going and performing well at Tennessee. And then I think from a fan perspective, it certainly helps the environment when you come back for 3 home games in Fayetteville. That's the biggest part of the season coming up. 3 games in Fayetteville.
I think we've all looked at the schedule this year and said if you're going to make hay, that's where it's got to be. Unfortunately, A&M's really good. A&M's really good.
They're really good, but they're also
really
mistake-prone.
They are. You're right. I'm not saying it's not a winnable game. I will have convinced
But
myself by kickoff Arkansas is going to win.
They
I
are
assure
as
you.
talented as anybody left on the
They
schedule.
are. I watched them play Mississippi State Saturday night. Mississippi State never had a chance. And Mississippi State's better. But you're right. You've got these home games coming up. But regardless of where you play, you can. I'll go back to the effort. I just think it's going to be night and day different. from what we saw against Notre Dame. Hey, you're talking a lot about Hog Trough Gutters. Part of it's because they're a locally owned company. We like that. They've been around for over 30 years. That's even better. That tells you they know what they're doing, tells you they service their customers well. They've got staying power. They provide high-quality gutter and drainage solutions, fully licensed and insured. They make your seamless gutters on site. They'll ensure a perfect fit for your home. 20-year warranty, all sizes and styles of gutters available. You can trust them to handle any projects, the bottom line. They also specialize in trenching, French drains. They'll keep your property protected from water damage, and they'll do it while it looks great. You'll be satisfied. You'll be happy. We encourage you to log on to hogtroughgutters.com.
8:17, more of your thoughts coming up. It's Monday morning on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning. You guys are part of my family. Everyone that listens to this show is just part of the Chuck and Bo family. We're building a community here.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Some moments just call for something unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you don't just buy a diamond. You create an unforgettable experience. Their newly remodeled space is stunning with Cafe B right inside and their in-house diamond expert that'll help you find the perfect piece every time. That's just part of the Blakeman's experience. When you see the purple bag, you know it's something special. It always saves the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
The voice of the Razorbacks is Chuck Barrett, and he chose McDonald Eye Associates for his recent cataract surgery.
I went to McDonald Eyes. I can see in a way I've not seen in a long time. And I'm looking forward to this football season because of that. Your eyes are a big deal. I don't care if you're a sports play-by-play guy or what you do. You have to have trust. My trust was developed because I knew they were listening to me.
For your best vision, trust McDonald Eye. Online and same-day appointments at mcdonaldeye.com.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Cutting corners is generally a bad idea. And when it comes to roofing, it's real bad. That's why Teamwork Roofing and Construction uses only the best materials, like Malarkey shingles, which perform better, protect longer, and are more sustainable. Residential or commercial. Got a complicated job? They've got the certified crews ready to deliver on time and on budget. You need a roof that's built on quality and powered by Teamwork. Teamwork Roofing and Construction. Log on to teamworkbuilt.com and get a quote today. That's teamworkbuilt.com. Today's been it's been a strange day.
Yeah, we've had some struggles here. And there.
Just
let's just be blunt. Can we be blunt?
Well, it's 50-50 at best.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
We, and I include myself in this, we like to think we know what we're talking about, but sometimes we do miss the mark. I mean, sometimes we do.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
877-377-6963. If you want to jump in here. We heard from Coach Petrino earlier. If you missed it, you can catch it on demand via Spotify, Apple. Just search the Chuck and Bo Show, or you can see it on YouTube. Interesting thoughts about how it went week one. I thought he was honest. Just it was a little tough for the defense. Lost 3 coaches on that side of the ball. Look, this is Clay's been texting a little bit this morning, Clay Henry, and we've been talking about this.
Clay's up and at him.
Yeah, the first thing about coaching is getting them to play hard. And that's all, especially in this kind of situation, is getting them. And so how do you get guys to play hard? And I think part of it is what's in it for you. As a player, what's in it for you? Does the coach see what's in it for me, or is it all about the coach? And we'll see if they believe in that they got to play the best they can play for themselves.
I think sometimes you can get too comfortable in life. And I think that this week, last week, you want to talk about being outside your comfort zone. My guess would be Tuesday's practice was different maybe than some of them have been. And I'm not saying they weren't working hard before. They were. But there's something about somebody getting fired. Sudden change. I mean, I just changed. This is sudden change. This is fumbling at your own 1 yard line. I mean, this is, it's panic's not the right word, but it's a big deal. How do you respond to that? Because ultimately, talking about playing hard, a coach's only job is to get his players to play the best they can play. Whatever your means to do that, and
then put them in positions
to win. But he's talked about simple things on defense. It's easy as a fan to just say, well, they're terrible. They're just terrible. Well, why are they terrible? I don't know. They're just terrible. Look at all the points they're giving up. He's talked about assignments. When they talk about run fits, that's basically saying being in the right place, going the wrong way.
Which also eliminates missed tackles.
Right.
Because when you're out of position, you're not at the right angle to make a good tackle.
Well, and all it takes is a safety going the wrong way, and I mean, boom. And
basic things like the edge being set. How many times have you seen a play this year that goes outside and nobody's there?
Yeah. It's not like they weren't trying, and it's not like they weren't coached to do that. But as I said a little bit earlier, there's been real disconnect between the offense and the defense. There's been disconnect between the offense and the defensive coaches. That's why those guys aren't here anymore. And I'm not saying it's their fault. I'm just saying that, this is the way it's worked out. And so you got new voices over there. The good news is those guys have been around. It's not like they've not been here. Now I know the one coach just flew in, but the other guys have been around. So the terminology and the things like that, I don't suspect will change a lot. But
you're right.
They're going to be more basic, more base defensively.
But they need that.
I agree.
This is what we hear a lot of is, well, the secondary they're no good. They're too big. They're slow. They're what?
They're in the wrong place.
They're in the wrong position.
They're in the wrong
place. The defensive line is just terrible. Well, the defensive line might not be as good as they need to be, but they can be better than what they've been. The linebackers can be better than what they've been. You can set the edge. You can be in better position, and you're still maybe not good enough, but you're better. And better if the offense is playing like it did for most of the Ole Miss game in the first half of the Memphis game, and there's a connectivity with the team. This all actually does work together. There is carryover when you can't get a stop on defense.
Well, and
how it affects the offense.
And we've talked about the relationship between the offense and the defense, and I hate to keep going back to the Ole Miss game, but I will again. There were 2 stops in the second half. And we talk about this defense. Not going to be a great defense, not going to be a shutdown defense. You may only get a couple of stops a half. You got to take advantage of them when you get them. Arkansas got 2 stops in the second half, and they didn't score either time. And you've got to be able to take advantage of those situations, knowing that there may not be a lot of them. So it's a team game, and we didn't even get into special teams with him. there's got to be across the board improvement, and I think there will be.
You can get in here with your thoughts. Again, it's 877-377-6963. It's Reaction Monday. Arkansas didn't play over the weekend, but plenty to react to. We'll go through another wild weekend in college football when we come back, including this UCLA situation. They were 0-4, and they knock off a top 5 team in front of a half-empty Rose Bowl.
Well, they tried to rush the field, and they didn't have enough fans to rush the field when it was over.
Hey, I want to tell you again about our new partner, Plainview Beef. You can get the cleanest beef out there today. No hormones, no antibiotics, no GMOs, no hidden chemicals, fuel for your body. This is a company that finishes their cattle on wheatgrass sprouts, which gives you steaks that are tender, juicy, packed with flavor, and good for you. You can go to their website, plainviewbeef.com, and read more about it if you want to. But trust me, I've had it, and it tastes just like we just described. There are restaurants who are getting rid of their Wagyu steaks and bringing in Plainview Beef. Direct to consumer, plainviewbeef.com. If you go online and make an order, you can get 6 fillets, 6 8-ounce fillets that'll come right to your door for $99. If you put in Chuck and Bo as a promo code, Chuck and Bo, you're going to get 12 beef sticks. That's a good snack, 8 to 12 grams of protein, tastes great, good for you, protein, creatine, all the things that they tell you are important about a healthy diet. Again, plainviewbeef.com. Order today, use Chuck and Bo. Chuck and Bo as a promo code and get a 12-pack of beef sticks free. It's 8:29. It's the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
You can tell I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Buying or selling a home's a big deal, and you want someone who is with you every step of the way. That's why those of us at the Chuck and Bo Show wholeheartedly recommend Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, because we've experienced it. They've been my partners for life. They're Bo's partner now, and I promise you, when you become involved with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, they'll become your partners for life too. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can always log on and check out their selection at WeicherGriffin.com.
High school sports in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley have never had a bigger stage. I'm Melissa Orange, host of the Varsity Vibe podcast, and every week we'll be bringing you the stories, highlights, and moments that matter most to our communities. Don't miss a beat. Subscribe to our newsletter, check out the Varsity Vibe podcast, and follow us on social media for the latest scores and spotlight features. Get it all at varsityvibearkansas.com.
Particularly in the South, I'm not sure there's a title that carries more weight than coach. Maybe preacher.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
be the first to
Good
get a
summer.
Chuck and Bo tattoo? I mean, I think Chuck might do it.
No. You can have mine. You just get 2 of them.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I was on Blackett Realtors, the Griffin Company's website over the weekend looking at homes. First off, there's so many beautiful areas in this part of the state, and there are a lot of beautiful homes out there right now, and you can check it all out at WeicherGriffin.com. You know, they'll help you get into the home of your dreams, and if you are thinking about listing your home, they want your listing. You know, you may be wondering, is this the time to list my home? Well, first off, ask them. If it is, let them do it, because they got a list of buyers a mile long. They'll help you sell that house for the price you're wanting. But if you find that home, and man, this is your dream house, they're going to help you get into that too. The American dream still very much within reach at Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. They know what they're doing. They've been around since 1978. Washington County, Benton County, Fort Smith, Branson, and you can log on to WeicherGriffin.com.
Chevy of Fayetteville Situation Room. It was a interesting weekend, to say the least, for all kinds of reasons. We didn't have a game. Arkansas didn't play, so we didn't have that to react to, but we had a week of practice. We had Coach Petrino on to talk about that. He'll meet with the media today.
Texas got beat.
At noon, Texas got beat. We've discussed that. We've cussed that. We're being cussed at about it. From Ryan and Ozark. That was a call. A lot of things have happened today here at 8:36.
That was the highlight of the show for me. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, I'm getting mad enough to cuss.
As the kids went into elementary school.
That's right.
Dad's listening to the show, and that just happened.
Despicable.
It really is. And it's a good point.
Country's going to hell.
Yeah, well, it is.
Well,
if we don't do
let's
something
go to the
about it,
situation.
we need a revival.
Let Bart figure it out.
Here's Bart
I'll
Pullman,
do my
a Chevy
best.
of Fayetteville, 200 vehicles, new vehicles on the lot right now to choose from, including that beautiful Silverado that Chuck's driving around. Man, it looks good. It sounds good. Talk to Mark, Chris, and Denver over there. They'll get you all taken care of together. Let's drive. Bart, good morning again.
Good morning, guys. How we
Great
doing?
to see you, Bart.
Yeah, it's good.
Boy, you
It's
look
good to be here.
refreshed like a man on
You
a bye
were
weekend.
you were in a good mood when you got here this morning.
Well rested.
Yeah,
well
well, I
rested.
guess that was the key right there.
Evaluating the hole that inexplicably popped up while we were gone over the weekend in the parking lot.
Yes.
With
Yeah.
a pile
What's the
of
deal
dirt
with that?
on top of it.
Yeah.
Strange.
I'm concerned.
It was-
I have my concerns.
It was
about what's happening
clearly
down there.
So someone dug a hole out
well,
in the
it,
yard.
Well,
it took a
construction
it took some
equipment.
heavy equipment to make it happen through the
Yeah.
pavement.
Yeah.
A rectangle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go down there. It was dark when you got here. I
It
know.
was.
When you leave, you're going to be like, "What's that?" I pulled up, had the truck headlights out there.
I want
Bart's
answers.
looking at it,
I want answers.
evaluating
What
what's
do you?
going on.
What's your early suspicion, Bart?
There's some sort of piping work going on.
Extraterrestrial life or anything like that?
no,
Nothing
no.
like that.
No, Fayetteville is amok with construction right
Yeah,
now.
it's
It's
too
just
much.
gone amok. It
There's
is
a
too
lot
much.
of construction.
It's
Right.
it's all very poorly
It's-
orchestrated.
it is.
City planner, but you should run for the planning commission.
Well, I mean, look, like our entire city's torn up right now. What are we doing? Like,
Every
let's-
block, every
let's-
street.
Yeah,
Let's
you-
be smart about
and-
how we're doing stuff and when we're doing stuff.
You try to reroute to miss the construction,
And you
in
run
the
into
one
more
lane.
construction.
Yeah, and there's no getting.
But
around.
there is no season anymore in Fayetteville where like there's nobody here.
Oh, no.
Back
Right.
in the old days, we'll wait till the summer. Well, if you do that now, you're just
No, kids are coming back to school. Perfect time to shut some lanes down and really work hard between like 7 and 9 and
I mean, everything
3
that's
and
being done
6 in
should
the
have probably been done
afternoon.
like 10 years ago.
Oh my
but, you
God!
know.
How do we even survive?
I don't know.
How do we make it?
Wow, it's like L.A. around here. It takes 4 hours to get across town.
It does.
I think it took
brutal.
me 6 minutes to get here this morning.
$200 Uber ride
Yeah,
for
well.
3 miles.
Horrible.
Yeah, it's anyhow. Barbara, how's it going, buddy? What
It's going
kind of
great.
weekend did we have in college football?
Crazy weekend, surprisingly, because it was a very lame slate of games. Just on the surface, like not a lot of exciting games, and the early window in particular was brutal. Like just a lot of bad
Could have
games.
been better.
and
Could have been better.
blowouts. But man, those 11 a.m. kickoffs. It's the most important kickoff of the day. UCLA became the first 0-4 team. I'm never letting that go. UCLA became the first 0-4 team or worse to beat a top 10 foe since 0-6 UTEP beat number 7 BYU 40 years ago.
Wow.
When they beat Penn State. Over the
James
weekend.
Franklin.
How about that?
Penn State has done a
good job? Would you say he's done a good job?
He's
at
done
Penn
a good
State?
job.
They were in the national semifinal game last year in the playoffs.
That's pretty decent.
He's
After
no
the
Joe
Oregon
Pa, but
game,
he's,
after the Oregon game, they wanted to get. There were plenty of people calling for his firing, which is about $50 million.
That's a lot.
And now after this game, it's going to be rough.
And
Penn State Nation. It's going to be a rough week for James Franklin. What happens there? Does anything happen there? And then I would just ask this question: who's going to win at Penn State at the clip that James Franklin has?
Well, my question would be, are they done losing? I mean, if they win the rest of the games, he's fine.
That league
if
is so
they're
screwed
not
up
finished
right now.
losing, then he's not fine.
We can talk about how difficult the SEC is. That league's just messed up.
The Big Ten's a joke. Gosh, it's a joke.
What makes it a joke, Bart?
Well, it's just like these teams just aren't very good, right? Like
starting with that.
Like,
Okay.
I mean, look, Ohio State, great team. Oregon seems to be a great team, although their best win now is against a Penn State team that just got blown out by UCLA.
Well, it ended up being a 5-point game, but it wasn't. that
UCLA had not led for a single second all season long going into that game.
And
Think
then
about that.
and
then they fired their coach and had an interim offensive coordinator. Everything was different. They said they put the game plan in 2 days,
And
and
then-
inexplicably rolled Jim Knowles' defense.
you've got an Indiana team which has not played a soul this year. Like, has not
They played Illinois.
Okay, they've played Illinois.
Beat their brains in.
Yeah, they didn't just play them. They did like a Blue Angels like air show.
And I mean, hey, Indiana might be plenty good.
Google them.
They'll play. We'll find out when they go to Oregon this weekend.
We'll find out.
We'll find out.
That's a Big Ten game
But-
I actually would sit down and watch for 3
That's
hours.
it.
What time's the game?
2:30 p.m.
Nah, I have to miss it.
Central Time.
Okay.
We got our game at 3:15.
Yeah. Oh, guess you have to. Guess that have it in
I
your
guess
library
it's
on
well.
YouTube TV.
I guess it's
But
not
I mean,
that big a game. It
like-
would be at 11 if it was a really
It's
big
a
game.
really big game.
But,
It'd be noon kickoff Eastern time.
Big noon.
Big Fox.
But I mean, look, that league's just not very good, and I'm tired of people acting like year after year that the Big Ten's something special. It's the same problem in basketball.
Well, Bart-
People talk about how good the Big Ten is in basketball. Honestly, the Big Ten hasn't been relevant in terms of producing big-time winners in basketball in 20 years.
I won't disagree with that part. I won't disagree with that.
It's just like they are that is such a top heavy league, the Big Ten, and then they've got no substance. There's no substance the rest of the way down. When you
got
compare
people traveling, 4 or 5
coast,
hour
coast
flights.
to coast,
I think that's a big
Time
part. See,
changes.
I don't think the conference is doing right by the players.
no, but I mean, look,
they care?
This is
No.
your league, like Washington, Northwestern, Maryland, Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, UCLA,
How good
Michigan
is the
State,
SEC by
Rutgers,
comparison?
Purdue. So much better.
You think so?
Unbelievably better.
Okay, who are the best teams in the SEC?
Who are the mid-pack teams? That's the thing about it. I mean, when you start talking about the
here you
strength
go.
of a league, it's
That's right.
it's as strong
The
as your
depth.
bottom and your middle.
Alabama, Georgia, LSU, Ole Miss, Missouri, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas A&M. I just gave you
Who's gonna
bunch
win
of
the
teams-
league?
I just gave you a bunch of teams that would
Thank
run
you.
circles around
did.
the Big Ten.
7 are
Thank you
ranked
for
this
that.
week. 7 are ranked
Thank
this
you
week.
for that.
Like, I mean,
how about Miami?
stop-
Is
just
Miami
stop.
a top 2 or 3 team in the country
I
right
think,
now?
I think so. Yeah, I do think so.
Beat Florida State.
I think they're in that
Led them
conversation.
28-3 at one point.
Yeah.
Who's the SEC's best bet to get to the title game? Because right now, the consensus would be Ole Miss. Would it be the consensus? Would it be Georgia?
I think it's one of 3 teams.
I mean, Ole Miss is the highest
What about
ranked team.
A&M?
I think
A&M's ranked fifth.
I think it's Ole Miss, A&M, or Alabama.
You don't think LSU's in it?
What about Oklahoma?
No.
Oklahoma's
Georgia?
They say the people in Oklahoma say their defense is incredible. Like they love their defense. And if Mateer comes back and plays well, but they've also got a big game coming up against Texas this weekend. And Texas coming off a loss.
Texas a favorite in that game, by the way. 2.5 point favorite.
Texas will win that
I'm
game.
going to give
watch.
your
Texas
national
will win that
champion.
game.
You want your national champion right
Sure,
now?
why not?
Texas Tech. Texas Tech's going to win the whole thing.
Yeah, no, they're not.
Evidently, we talked about how they were going to be a litmus test.
They don't have, well, when they do, they're going to beat them.
They're 5-0. They're ranked in the top 10.
Here's the question: will they play anybody?
I didn't.
No, they play one ranked team the rest of the season. It's at Arizona State. That's the only team.
So they're going to be in the playoffs.
They will
Is
be.
Texas
but they're not
Tech
do
the best team in Texas right now?
No.
You think A&M's better?
I think A&M's best team in Texas.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, they're good gracious.
Yeah,
this is
really
embarrassing.
easy.
The Big 12 schedule?
Yeah, this is embarrassing.
To whom?
They should be embarrassed by this. UAPB, Kent State, Oregon State, Utah, Houston, Kansas, Arizona State, Oklahoma State, Kansas State, BYU, Central Florida, West Virginia. That's embarrassing.
Where do they play BYU?
At home in Lubbock.
Where do they play UCF?
At home in Lubbock.
Okay.
Oh,
Do they have a tough road trip, like
Arizona
a time zone
State.
trip?
Arizona State, but no.
No,
I mean,
not time zone.
It's a little time zone change. Not
Yeah,
much.
just
It's like an hour.
That's a joke.
Well,
man.
okay.
That's embarrassing.
Okay, let's talk about this real quick. How's the Bill Belichick North Carolina experiment going?
I watched them some Saturday.
They're one of the worst Power 4 teams I've seen in recent memory.
The statements are Stephen A. Smith-like.
They've lost to the Power 4 opponents they've played this year by a combined score of 120 to 33. They have not been competitive at all.
They looked in the first half with that game at Clemson. They looked defensively. They looked like Arkansas looked against Notre Dame. They were just completely lost. They're bad. I mean, look.
See, they're bad,
guys.
man.
I mean,
they're horrible.
North Carolina. I mean, you want to talk about stealing money? And you want to talk about putting yourself in a bad spot as an athletic program? They're paying Belichick $10 million a year to go through a late midlife. He's getting paid to go through a late midlife, and they are throwing so much money at this situation, and it is not going to work. It is not. It's not working now. It's not going to work. And they're really putting themselves behind the 8 ball because they're in a situation now they can't get out of. They can't get out of it. And I don't think it's going to end well for them at all, for any of them.
On the flip side of that, you have Ryan Day, who Ohio State beat Minnesota over the weekend. He now has the highest winning percentage in the history of college football, slightly above Newt Rockne.
And they tried to fire him last
Yeah, they
year
were ready to fire
after
him.
they lost to Michigan.
Yeah.
I mean, tried everything in their
Uh-huh.
power, those Ohio State fans, to
Yep.
fire him, and he won the national championship. It's going to be another wild week in college football. You know why? Because every week is.
That's right.
I mean, just point to
Nowadays,
one
yeah.
that hasn't been. And while you're watching the games, you might as well go to
I mean,
walk-ons
Virginia
because
leads the ACC.
they'll have them all on. And Chandler Morris is the
Chandler
quarterback.
Morris, baby.
Go to walk-on, 60 televisions,
Left lane.
all the NFL games. You can watch a game tonight on Monday night. And while you're there, ask for a Flight by Yingling. They've got it on tap. 95 calories, but tastes like a Yingling. The next generation of light beer is Flight by Yingling. Chuck has a little bit of a bad habit of getting on Facebook and buying things.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Football season's here, and Flight by Yingling is the light beer built for game days. Tastes like a Yingling, but it's a light beer, and only 95 calories. Flight raises the bar for what a light beer should be, and now it comes in a 16-ounce resealable twist-off aluminum bottle and skinny cans. Perfect for tailgates, watch parties, or just kicking back after the game. Pick it up at your favorite store or ask your bartender. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer.
When something goes wrong, a car wreck, an injury, mounting debt, or getting denied the help you deserve, it's hard to know where to turn.
That's when Cadell Reynolds shows up. This is a team that fights for Arkansans. Personal injury, disability, bankruptcy, they handle it all. And they know how to get results.
You've got enough to deal with. Don't try to figure it out alone.
Call Cadell Reynolds, 866-314-3728, or visit CadellReynolds.com.
Cadell Reynolds. Make the right call.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Are your gutters ready for fall? Leaves are coming, and that means it's time to protect your home. At Hogtroff Gutters, they install high-quality leaf guards that actually work. Don't waste money on the cheap guards from big box stores that clog up, and don't get stuck paying triple the price with those big national companies. With Hogtroff, you get the best of both worlds: professional installation, premium aluminum, and stainless steel guards, as well as a 20-year warranty. Give them a call today to schedule your free inspection, or visit hoggutters.com.
There's no better shopping experience than you're going to find at Macadoodles or at Guess Who in Bentonville. And every Wednesday is Wine Down Wednesday. 15% off every bottle of wine in the store, even if it's already on sale. But when it comes to selection, amazing prices, and unbeatable customer service, Macadoodles and Guess Who in Bentonville is second to none. Wine, beer, and spirits. Stock up for your next party, or just stop by and grab your favorite. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista, and Guess Who in Bentonville. It's stunning to hear every 20 minutes a child is diagnosed with a critical illness. But we can help. Grant life-changing wishes with Waiters for Wishes and the Razorback men's basketball team. It's Tuesday, September 30th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Walk-Ons in Fayetteville. This private ticketed event lets you take photos, get autographs, challenge your favorite hog to a Pop-A-Shot, and bid on silent auction items, all benefiting Make-A-Wish Mid-South. Tables are limited and going fast, so reserve yours today at midsouth.wish.org. So I spent yesterday. You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I haven't drank alcohol since '96 when I wet willied my boss in both ears at the Christmas party. We're on the way home, and my wife said, "You know what it is?" I said, "Yeah, it's time to stop drinking." She goes, "Yeah, it is."
The Chuck and Bo Show.
PlainviewBeef.com. We told you about it this morning for the first time. You can order fillets, 6 of them, 6 8-ounce fillets for $99. It's the cleanest beef you are ever going to have in your life. I mean, this is game-changing. You won't be disappointed. We're going to let you know more about it for the days to come because it's game-changing, and it's healthy. It's as healthy and clean a red meat that you can get. They've also got the beef sticks. If you make an order, use Chuck and Bo as a promo code and get 12 free beef sticks, which is an awesome and a healthy snack. 8 to 12 grams of protein, creatine in there, all the things that if you're trying to have even a a semblance of a healthy diet, you're going to get it at plainviewbeef.com. Get your order today and use Chuck and Bo as a code. Whew, what a show.
That is.
Huh.
It's incredible.
We had like a run today, starting with Petrino at 7:15.
I think the key was Bart came in raring to go this morning.
Well
we
rested.
He was rested.
jubilant.
He was jubilant. We didn't have to wonder. And away we went.
And it was quite a Monday.
It was.
And now
It was
we're
a good
into
day.
now we're into game week. Now, I thought Petrino gave some good insight today. If you missed it, you can catch it on demand at Chuck and Bo Show podcast, Spotify or Apple, or you can watch it on YouTube.
Bar went 2-1 on his locks. Most importantly, one of these weeks.
I
he's
mean,
gonna
it's
get
just
over the
ho
hump.
hum every
Yeah,
week.
every
2-1.
week.
Bart,
Yeah.
he's over there just winning
Yeah.
money. Tennessee game week. Arkansas, according to the Oaklawn Sports app, a 13.5-point dog. We'll try and be here again tomorrow. I love a day or weekend at Big Creek Country Club in Mountain Home. The golf, the people, the hospitality, and the events they host always hit the mark, and members enjoy it all. State-of-the-art practice facilities, food, beverages, a big pool with a snack and beverage bar, tennis and pickleball courts, and they can even book you an exclusive fly fishing trip. There's no initiation fee, and for out-of-towners, a membership is only $185 a month. It's Big Creek Country Club in Mountain Home. It's home away from home.
The Razorback Raffle is back. This raffle is a new and exciting way to support Razorback athletics, whether you're inside Razorback Stadium or calling the Hogs anywhere in the great state of Arkansas. Our inaugural raffle jackpots grew to nearly $500,000 last spring. Now you can be our next big winner, even if you're not in the stadium. Get your raffle ticket purchased to have a chance to win big right now at RazorbackRaffle.com.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
Buying or selling a home's a big deal, and you want someone who is with you every step of the way. That's why those of us at the Chuck and Bo Show wholeheartedly recommend Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, because we've experienced it. They've been my partners for life. They're Bo's partner now, and I promise you, when you become involved with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, they'll become your partners for life too. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can always log on and check out their selection at WeicherGriffin.com.
And I listen in every day. Everybody know that. I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
Good.
The Chuck and Bo Show.